Happy Tuesday. You are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And let's see, I got a lot of exciting stuff going on, by the way. Really like cool shit that, like going on. I am going to share with all of you.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, thank you guys all for tuning in. Please tag anybody, talk amongst yourselves. Come on the feed because we're gonna have some fun tonight. This is what I call Knights of the Round Table. This was my I get these like brainstorms, that just hit me, right? And so I just had this idea because I put certain things out there on Facebook just to stir up the pot a little bit and stuff, right? And I love the reactions that I get. And as I get these reactions, I'm like, this is a show. Like, we got to talk about this. So, believe it or not, it is not easy to get people to come on this show. I have beside me here my Tracey, who is a 4-time repeat offender, right?
Thank you for having me back.
And thank you, Tracey, for being here. And I also have a first on the show.
That's right.
Mr. Rogers. We have Roger.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Oh, yes. If you start changing your shoes, I'm out.
Me too.
Yeah, right. We're all leaving.
Go gentle. First timer. Yes.
I don't go. I'm not gentle. It's not part of my nature.
I know.
I'm kind, but I can't go. I can't go too easy though.
I'm gonna have to zip it a lot here.
Oh boy, no! This is the whole point. We don't zip it. We let it. We unzip and let it out.
As you notice, I'm kind of like half in and half out of the picture.
Nah, so you're in. It's just because
me,
I can't figure out how to make the screen bigger and not have that there. So we're kind of working with this. But I think everybody out there in Facebook land can see us.
I'm also on the dunce chair here. It's going down.
Well, sit up tall.
I'm trying.
It'll work.
It's fine.
It's all good. So anyway, this was my brainstorm, and I tried to get a couple of people on, and these two were about the only brave souls that were willing to come on and talk. So just to reiterate what the show is about, Real Talk does not mean throwing anyone under a bus. It doesn't mean that you have to air all of your dirty laundry or anything else. Whatever people choose to say on the show, they choose to say on the show. And hopefully everyone listening is respectful of the fact that people are sharing their points of views or feelings or beliefs with everyone else. Because I can guarantee you that I am not the only one that feels the way I am. Tracey is not the only one that feels the way she is. Roger is not the only one that feels the way he is. So for every person out there that might be a hater, there is a person out there that's actually benefiting from what we are saying. So it's important, I feel, that we share the love. And like I said, it's never throwing anybody under a bus. So it's not like I'm going to put you on the spot and be like, where were you the night of, 10/24? I'm not going to do that. Although I would, but I'm not going to do that.
Thank you.
So, yeah. So, right. Especially since none of us know where we were then anyway, right?
No.
But, that's why we're just here to talk, and I just think I like to talk about real issues that are going on and the climate that we live in. And seriously speaking, this is like a really scary climate.
It is.
It's a scary climate because so many people, you can't talk about nothing anymore. It's like, everybody's got something to say about something. I was just talking to a friend of mine, earlier, and he was saying you just can't say anything. Anything you say is misconstrued, and someone is going to take offense to it.
Right.
So, are we kidding right now? Are we all like a bunch of sissy Marys that everybody takes offense to everything somebody says? What does that mean? Do we have a backbone?
The politically correctness of what changed the society about 6 or 7 years ago makes everybody put a filter on what they're going to say and think.
Well, I think that yeah,
publicly,
right,
publicly.
And again, I think that there's nothing wrong with being kinder in the sense of wording things a little bit differently. I think we can all word things a little bit differently, but I also think that certain things just got to be said. Like me personally, I don't know. You remember Wonder Woman? She had the magic lasso, and the minute she put that lasso around you, you tell the truth,
yes.
right? So I have this problem. I must be lassoed. Like the invisible lasso must be lassoed on me because I can't not tell the truth. Like I can't do it, and I hold in a lot, and then I get to a point where it just comes out. Like this weekend, I told a number of people exactly how I felt. And maybe I was right, maybe I was wrong, but you know what? Sometimes you just got to say it. And I always say you should know where you stand with somebody, right? Because at least you know, like you and I know, like, you know, where we stand. Like you got to know where you stand with someone. And if somebody doesn't know where you stand with them, then one of you is not doing something right. Right?
Right. I agree.
Right? Like if you're hanging out with somebody and you're not having a good time, and if you and me are hanging out and you're not having a good time, but I am, one of us needs to realize that there's an issue there, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, and that's what I'm trying to say is that, we should all communicate. And everybody shouldn't be so afraid to talk. Granted, I could, you know, use a filter or 2 or 7. But, you know, I try.
Not you, Karen.
Not me, I know. But you know what? I really do have a filter. I think I say things politically correct because I try to be kind when I say them.
You do.
But I don't sugarcoat things. I say it.
Well, there's a difference between, like, being mean.
Right.
And, like, maybe hurting someone's feelings.
Right.
Or just being honest,
right,
and being truthful,
right. But honesty and truthfulness usually come with who the hell does she think she is? That bitch.
I feel like it depends on your relationship to the person.
Okay, I'll go with that. I think it depends on the person that you're speaking to more so than the relationship that you have with them. Because, you know, if people know, like people will say to me that actually know me. They'll say but that you don't say it with malice intent.
No.
You say it like it is, and yeah, it was a little harsh. Like I'll send something to her and I'll go, I said this, was this bad? Well, it wasn't bad. It was truthful. It was a little harsh, but it needed to be said, and that would be like the response that I would get.
One thing I normally do now, I just take a step back before I open my mouth and think about how I'm going to
Believe it or not, so do I.
because there's a little thing called a pause button.
Yes.
And I never had that before in my life until I probably became a father and had to learn how to pause and stop, rewind, and think about what I'm going to say. Because normally everything that comes out of my mouth just came out of my mouth and was followed by a shoe.
Right.
Because I was putting my foot in my mouth. So
right.
Now I do the pause button, and it's not always what you say, it's how you say it. Because I could tell somebody that they look terrible in a very, very nice way that makes them feel good about themselves and maybe make them change their outlook on things. Not necessarily going to tell somebody they look terrible, but maybe tell them, you know, what they might need to hear that I might need to say. Or
like how they could improve themselves so that they don't look
constructive
terrible.
criticism. I'm just using it as an example. You know what I mean?
That's an interesting...
I'll just use that as an example. Like, for example, if I don't like the way you're treating me, I'm going to tell you in a not so politically way, but I'm going to do it in a softer, unpolitically way, so to speak. For example, listen, I understand where you're coming from. You're very upset. You're very passionate about that, but the way you're speaking to me really bothers me. So can we just tone it down, and I'll tone myself down because we don't want to get into a confrontation. So
that's very politically correct.
The way I could say that, yeah, but normally it's not going to come out like that. It's going to come out differently. I'm just using that as an example.
That's politically incorrect. As opposed to me when I was talking to my friend today, and I'm like, are you in a bad mood? Like, you want to revisit this? I'll call you back in 10 minutes if you need time. And he's like, listen, you're going 600 miles an hour, asking me this, and that. You're obviously a woman on a mission, so I'm not the one who has the problem right now. I was like, hey, I'm not the one who has the problem either. Like, are you good? I'll call you back. I'm good, you know? And then it was like, after that, it was like, I'm good. I just needed to pull out of the parking lot. I'm like, all right, well, you could have told me I'll call you back, you know? I mean, so, like, don't, like, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Like, you can't, you know.
Tonality is big, because if my tone or my voice goes to a higher point, it's going to, you know.
Yeah,
it's going to change things.
I have tonal issues.
Yeah.
I have tonal, and I have facial issues. And I have facial issues
right.
Because people that watch my show sometimes, if they're not listening just on the radio and they're doing this here, they'll say to me, especially the ones that know me, they're like, Karen, I saw your face when, you know, so-and-so said whatever, and it was, you know, like priceless. I can't hide it. And like Tracey just looked at me like, yep.
You gotta be
I
careful.
do that too sometimes, though.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful with the eye rolls too. You know what I mean? So
Eye roll. See, I don't eye roll
You
anymore.
don't eye roll too much?
No, I don't eye roll.
No.
I don't eye roll.
Not in an argument. No.
No.
No argument.
That's
eye rolls.
so like 90s.
That's 90s.
No, I
Just
don't
saying.
think so. I don't think so. No eye rolling.
No eye rolling. Okay.
No.
No looking back. Okay.
Yeah. So now let's. I always start my show with like, who the hell are you, right? So anybody that's listening for the first time or tuning in for the first time, Tracey, tell everybody who you are.
I'm Tracey Katz, and I've known Karen for over like almost 20 years. So
Yeah.
about 20 years.
Yeah. Long time.
And I'm a teacher, speech teacher in special ed, and I have a second job in catering in Tarrytown. So
And you are married, single?
I am divorced.
Do you have children?
I have no children, and I am one of the sexual deviants of Miami Mike Radio.
That's right. Yes. There's
Gotta go.
there what was it?
Sexual deviants, perverts,
And
weirdos.
And weirdos. Yes. That welcome to Miami Mike Radio. Where we are deviants.
Thank you, Anthony Mangini.
Yes, and very weird.
I was given that title.
Yes, well, you own it.
Love
You own it. It's
Love it.
okay. All right.
Love
So
it.
now, Roger, who the hell are you?
Who the hell am I? My name is Roger Gusman. I own a mansion and a yacht.
That's Elmer J. Fudd, and I'm going to marry him.
That's right. We'll have fun on the yacht, Karen. I promise you. But basically, I'm just a single dad. I have a 9-year-old son who has changed my life for the better. I am a mortgage broker for the last, or banker for the last 24, almost 25 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
So I try not to publicize that, but I specialize in problem loans. So anybody who's got less than perfect.
1-800 problems.
You have a problem. You gotta
You
go
have a
home.
problem. Get to Raja.
Yeah, I've got enough.
Roger
problems.
that. Roger that.
Roger that.
We got a problem.
I do great with paper loans, but we also have loans that fit every size and need and situation.
I love when you have everything that fits every size and need.
I try to accommodate. Thank you.
Yes. There we go. Now we're back to men are from Mars, women are from Venus, right? Yeah. The
Talking
book.
about loans, Karen. Loans.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Borrow this.
That's an interest-free loan.
Oh, jeez. No, that's the one you pay for dearly.
A lot of interest. Yes.
Yeah,
It
you
compounds daily.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
you get them nuts from that, big time.
Just quick.
All right. So now, wait. So you did. This was what when I talked about Knights of the Round Table. Like I'm talking about. I want to talk about being single. I want to talk about relationships. I want to talk about dating. What men want, what women want, because I don't know. Even though we're all old, I feel like, well, whatever. I say whatever. So I feel like I keep saying I think I'm doing this wrong. So like I want to share this and I want to like open up the arena because I feel like a lot of us maybe don't know what the hell we're doing, right? And so even though you think we know what we're doing because we are older, as you just said, right? We're older.
Correct.
We all should know what we're doing, but maybe we don't know what we're doing, and maybe we're not doing it right. But the sad thing about being older is that you always think you're right because you think you know everything.
Correct.
So, the bad part about that is that you always have to take accountability. I talked about the law of attraction a couple of weeks ago, right? And if you don't take accountability for your actions, there's a common denominator somewhere. So if somebody turns around and says, "Oh my God, I don't get it," I'm such a good person. I'm such a great woman. How come I keep meeting all these guys that are assholes? Well, there's something I'm doing that's attracting assholes, right? So we got to check ourselves because there's a common denominator. And when the common denominator is you, then you need to look at it. And I think a lot of people don't look at it and they want to point fingers and blame the other person. So we don't take accountability a lot of times, right? So sometimes, you know what, we're going to fuck up and it's okay. And we need to own that and say, you know what, damn. Like when I did my little spell this weekend and I had to tell everybody stuff, I was nice to most of them, but one of them I went off on completely.
Were they friends?
Something like that. And so yes, and so I felt really bad afterwards because I really it was a lot. But a friend of mine said to me, that was how you felt. And I said to Noah, oh boy, I really screwed up here. I went off on, and he's like, all right, Mom, what'd you say? I go, I'm not telling you what I said. And he's like, why, was it bad? I said, no, it wasn't bad. I said, everything I said was the truth. But I probably shouldn't have said it, or maybe I could have said it differently.
Pause.
So, right. And you know what? Here's my problem, Roger. I paused for too long. So what happens is that, yes, when you hit the pause button for long enough of a period of time and you get underneath it.
Mount Vesuvius erupts.
and then I had a drink in me, and it was all she wrote, and it wasn't
no filter.
No filter. And I was
gonna. That happens when you drink.
Yeah, especially I was having an emotional day on, Cinco de Mayo was Sunday, and that was 19 years ago that day that my husband proposed to me. And, so but that's not an excuse, for my actions. But when I spoke to a girlfriend of mine, she said to me, don't you dare apologize. That was a long time coming. Own it. You said it, own it, and that's it. Okay. So I do think that sometimes if you do something wrong, like if you go about it the wrong way, maybe you could apologize, right? Or apologize. Like I was going to say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have come off like that. But my girlfriend was like, don't you dare. And I was like, all right, I'm listening. And that was it. So, I think we can take accountability and probably make better choices.
Have you spoken to any people since you...
Nope. Everybody ran away.
Time heals all wounds.
Fuck it. What are you gonna do? You know what? If you can't handle the truth, especially around me, like if you can't handle the truth, then I'm not the person to be in your life. And again, I don't say things mean, and I don't say things abruptly like that, but I do say them straight. And if listen, people talk to me like that too. And sometimes somebody says something to me, and I go, wait a second, and then I'm like, ooh, okay. I'm kind of, I'm resembling that a little bit. That's why that hit me a little bit. I'm like, oh, they just put me right in my place. And I'm okay with it. Because sometimes we need to be put in our place.
We do.
I'm just saying.
Eye-openers. We all need eye-openers.
Sometimes, it was funny, my friend that I was talking to today, he said, you just smacked me right in my face. Like, obviously on the phone, but like, he was like, and I kind of liked it. Like, I forgot what that felt like. He's like, I'm getting the whole New York thing because he moved out of New York. And it was just kind of funny when he was saying that.
Only friends can pick on other friends.
It's not even picking, though.
Not even pick on, but I'll say call them on their crap.
Call them out. Yeah, I guess so. But you know what? If you're acting in a certain way, I think you do need to be called out sometimes. Sure. Period. End of discussion. Whether you're my friend or you're not my friend, if you're going to behave like that in front of me, I'm going to call you out. Eventually, I'm going to call you out on it. I may not call you out on it at that point. It may not matter to me at that point. But like I said, I hold it in long enough, and then Mount Everest explodes. That's
and
it.
then maybe you need to let it out little bits at a time.
Yeah, but it doesn't normally work that way because to me, I don't do subtle well.
Right.
So I'm not sure. I mean, I could work on that. I'm not sure how to do that. But anyway, you are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy. We are live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And tonight, my two guests here with me, the only two brave souls that were willing to come on, is Tracey and Roger. And we are talking about, the climate this day. We're trying to do Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And yes, so I did not read that book, Roger.
You did not. So give it 20 minutes to check it out.
No, I'm going to do what I did in high school and ask you to tell me what it said. I need the Cliff Notes.
All right. One of the things that I started reading this, Scott, it has to be 20 years ago. And I probably got up to the middle of it. But one of the things that they...
in 20 years, you didn't finish the goddamn book?
I never finished it yet.
Oh, that's all. See, this is why.
Are you yellow pages. Yeah, that's why I'm single.
That's why you're single. Because you're not in the right freaking planet.
Well, I just found out. It's funny because when I was on my way over here, I was talking to a young person. She saw the book in my hand.
A young person, a
millennial, who are also from another planet.
Another planet.
Totally different from Mars or Venus.
Planet X.
Planet X. But she just brought up to the fact that they updated the book and brought it into the 20th century.
Oh my! So that means they rewrote it with like OMG in it.
Yes, OMG. Yeah,
there's an OMG in there.
Because there's a difference now between the men 20 years ago and the women 20 years ago.
Yeah, you ain't freaking whistling Dixie on that one.
The whole premise of the book that I read back 20 years ago kept focusing, and I stopped reading because it seemed a little redundant, where it focused upon the fact that men try to avoid confrontation and we go in the cave and try to avoid confrontation. And women want to talk it out. That's why women, and this is what they spoke about in the book.
All right, wait a second. So wait. So we're confrontational because we want to talk?
No. But this is what they're... I'm not... Listen, this is John Gray, PhD, who wrote the book.
Okay, I'm
just saying what the confrontation... A large part of the promise was that men, when they hit a confrontation, and when one wants to talk about something that they don't want to hear, they would go into the cave. And that would be a withdrawn.
Again, problem one, we're not being confrontational, we're trying to talk to you.
Exactly.
So problem one, I just solved in 3 seconds, and that book took you 20 freaking years, and you're still not done with it. Number one, if they go, we need to talk, that's confrontational.
That's confrontational, and men will withdraw.
Run. The minute we hear we gotta talk, they gotta run. So don't run. Forrest, don't run.
Okay.
Sit still for a minute and just listen, because guess what? When you run, we run right after you, and we're gonna freaking hit you with the book. So you better just sit down and listen. True. Just
right.
That's all right. Go ahead. So go ahead.
So
we're confrontational and you're not. Run away. Okay, go ahead.
Not that they're confrontational, but women like to talk and discuss what's going on. Well, this was 20 years ago.
We talk about our feelings. Yes, women are emotional, and we talk about
feelings, and men just clam up, hold everything in, either drink or punch a wall or whatever they do.
Or have sex with various women.
Some men talk. There's a small percentage that are willing.
That's true. Men, and you know what? That's why they need to upgrade the book, because in the last 20 years, men have become a little bit more in tune with their feelings.
Vocal.
They're more vocal, and they're not as caveman-ish.
That's men that are not afraid.
Men that are not afraid to open up and say, "Well, listen, this is how I feel."
They're in touch with their feminine.
Exactly, and that's why the book needed to get reworded.
See, I didn't even read the book. I should have a freaking degree. I'm telling you.
You should be
real talk. I should have a goddamn
PhD,
degree.
Real talk.
That's it. PhD. Exactly. I got it already. See, let's just get on the right planet. We're good.
But the book is good, but they have upgraded the book. I have not read or attempted to even finish this one, only because I kind of figured out, like Karen did in 30 seconds, about that women want to talk and men want to just recluse.
And you decided you don't want to listen to anybody, and that's why you're single.
And that's why I'm single. I don't want to listen to anybody. Thank you, Karen. We're not throwing anybody under the bus over here, but yes.
Oh, come on. That's not throwing you under the bus. That's plain.
I got a thick skin.
It's all fun and games till someone loses an eye. We're all good. Don't worry. I'll pick on Tracey in 3 minutes.
That's fine. What comes around goes around.
Nah, listen, I can handle it. Don't worry about that. I got no issue with that.
Just wait until the people that you called out this weekend get on.
Nah, please, they ain't coming back this scared. They ran away.
They're out?
Nah,
okay,
no, actually, I really wasn't that bad. Just with one in particular that I was, and that I'll have to deal with. But the rest of them, I was good. No, I just said my piece, and I was very respectful. So it doesn't mean it's a bad thing when you tell somebody how you feel. No. Just the one person was a bad thing. The rest I did good with. It happens. What are you
Life goes on.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
They'll get over it. They're young.
Yeah, well.
Hopefully.
It is what it is. Whatever. All right, so what else? Is that it? That's the whole book? Is that men
That's
as
far as I got. There's a whole lot.
Oh, my God, Roger. Then what the hell did you bring the book
I brought the book. Okay, you ready? Here's a whole set. I want you to read this.
Oh, God. I can't see. Let me
How see. Women
misinterpret
men. Go ahead, read.
Can you read that? Or should I take my glasses off?
You need the readers.
All right, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't mind my squinting.
Okay.
Without an understanding of how men are like rubber bands, it is very easy for women to misinterpret a man's reaction. Why? You mean when they break shit in the house that we misinterpret that? A common confusion arises when she says, "Let's talk."
That's what we just said. I figured you would like that part.
And immediately he emotionally distances himself right when she wants to open up. and get closer, he wants to pull away. Commonly, I hear the complaint, every time I want to talk, he pulls away. I feel like he doesn't care about me. She mistakenly concludes that he doesn't ever want to talk to her. The rubber band analogy explains how a man may care very much about his partner, but suddenly pulls away. When he pulls away, it is not because he does not want to talk. Instead, he needs some time alone, time to be with himself, or as Roger calls it, the pause button, when he is not responsible for anyone else. It is a time for him to take care of himself. When he returns, then he is available to talk. To a certain extent, a man loses himself through connecting with his partner. By feeling her needs, problems, wants, and emotions, he may lose touch with his own sense of self. Pulling away allows him to reestablish his personal boundaries and fulfill his need to feel autonomous.
Regroup.
This book is such bullshit.
She brought up the topic. I just brought the book.
All right.
What the
But wait a second. Wait. But I do...
This is a 20-year-old book.
Hold
my
on,
God.
though. Hold on. I do have
Bestseller.
to say... I do... Well,
I bought it, too.
This is why...
That's why I never finished it. Yeah.
This is why everybody's divorced.
I can't.
I will say this, though. Let me just say this part. All of us need to regroup at times, right? Okay, so I can say that, and I do,
And I get that,
right? But I do understand as well that, especially depending on the type of man, a true masculine man, a leader, if you will, when they get pushed into a corner, they need a moment to figure out, it's like if they're going out in the wild and they're going to kill prey, they have to figure out how their plan of attack is. They just can't go in and attack because maybe they'll lose the kill. So they have to actually sit back, they have to look, and then they have to figure out what's the best way for me to make this kill. So there are men that do that because they are natural born leaders and hunters. So when they get pushed to that point where they're not sure what direction it's going in, they have to regroup so that they can figure out and then lead it and turn it around. That's a true powerful man, not a coward who just decides he don't want to talk and he goes away and shuts it off and that's it. But like, for instance, myself, like with my husband, my late husband, when we would have arguments, I would just go at it, and I would just, like, woman, right? I would go at it. And he would put his hand up and go like this and go, I'm done. Goodbye. And he'd walk out the door and I would lose my mind. Because now I'm like screaming at the walls because I got to get it out. He needed to walk out because he was going to punch something, he was going to whatever, and then react accordingly and be mean and say things he didn't want to say and all of that, right? So it's very difficult to allow someone that space sometimes because when you are in a heated thing, you want to get it out. And women... So now I'm understanding the concept of the book a little bit more so because we need that right away and you guys need to stop and think. So not to say that we don't need to stop and think too, because if the man was coming at me with something, I would need that time too. Because
it goes both ways. Everybody needs to regroup
and think because I would be like, wait a second, what the hell is his problem? Like, where did this come from? Right. So now I have to, and sometimes like me, when I'm pissed off, just stay the hell away from me and let me breathe because I need to hit that pause button.
That time, yeah.
Because my temper will go out of control. So you do have to understand what another person is like, and you have to give them their space. So I know what you're saying. When I read that, there was a form of bullshit to it, but in a real situation with a real dominant man, and I don't mean dominant like controlling, I mean dominant as in protector. So as a protector, he has to regroup and say, that's what they were saying in there. How do I lead this back? How do I take this back so that we are back in control? And how are we going to have the best outcome for this? Problem is that man doesn't exist anymore. He's in the goddamn cave.
I think when I was younger, I was more reactive. But now that I'm older, like I'll be more quiet.
Right.
Because sometimes I just know, like I don't want to say the wrong thing. So I'm just quiet. So if I'm quiet, just leave me alone for a little bit.
Well, again, it's called regrouping. And sometimes it's like, for me personally, like if I get hurt, like for instance, I hit my foot or I do something, I don't speak when I get hurt. I process the pain. And anybody around me is like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, I can't speak. Like, give me a minute. Like, my body is reacting to this pain, and I'm still here. And unless I drop dead, give me a minute, you know? So it's processing, and we all have to know each other's processing time. That being said, it doesn't mean that we like it, right? Mm-hmm. So, me and you are having an argument. I'm not done yet. Oh, you're done? No, you're not done. Yeah, I'm not done. Like,
and if I cut you off by walking out the door, you're going to be even more pissed because you didn't get off when you wanted. Yeah,
right? Or exactly. Someone hangs up on you, like if you're on the phone.
But it's totally not a recluse thing. It's also, I need time to process this and also let you cool down, because if something just happened between us and we're having a heated argument. And if we're cursing at each other, that's not going to be productive.
No,
but it feels myself, good.
But it feels
really good. Yeah,
it feels good.
Yeah, but what could happen? It could get nasty, and you can wind up saying something you don't want to say. Yeah, obviously, and we all know that words can hurt more than a punch in the face.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they last longer.
Absolutely,
they last longer. The redness goes away.
Well, there's impact. There's impact in those words, and they mean something. And a lot of times people feel it. So even people say, when you're drunk, you really say your true feelings, right? So a lot of times, sometimes, we may say stupid shit, but, for the most part, the sentiment is there, right? Because usually after a couple of drinks, you lighten up, you loosen up a little bit. And now, depending, if you're twisted, if you're pushed beyond your level, then it's going to all spew out. Right. If you're not pushed beyond your level and you'll be joking around, you may just throw things out there that you might not have thrown out there had you not loosened up a little bit, right? So you guys are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com, and we are live on the radio, and we are also live in my Facebook group, Real Talk with Karen Stacy, and we are also available on the TuneIn app. If you are driving or whatever, I think you can listen to it on in the car too. The Apple Play, CarPlay, whatever it is. So sometimes I know you need to be refreshed. So I know on the app, I think it works a little bit better without the refreshers, to my understanding. But what do I know?
You can listen online too.
Right, online, anywhere. We got a million ways for you to listen. And actually, this was what I was going to talk about earlier. Super duper exciting news, right? And I don't know if you know this yet, but we, as of actually next week, actually next Tuesday, my show is going to be, we have a new digital internet streaming alliance that we have formed, that Miami Mike has put together. It's called DISA, or DISA, and it's going to be, it's a unified network of internet radio stations working together to bring the ultimate listening experience. So what that means is that you can hear our shows on other radio stations and vice versa. Mm-hmm. So one of the shows, VMLO, next Tuesday when we do the show, it will be aired on Miami Mike Radio and also on WMLO, which I need to start to be able to roll off my tongue. For some reason, those letters don't go together with me, and I'm like, blah, 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 blah.
WMLO. Tequila.
Yeah, right? That's all.
Is that on a radio station, like an FM station?
It's an internet, it's a digital internet streaming alliance. So we all have formed an alliance together, and so the shows are going to be broadcast simultaneously, which is really super exciting. And I am really humbled and grateful and thankful that I'm going to be a part of this. So next week, we got more viewers. I better behave.
I just want to say, Karen, by the way, the advice that you give is very sound. So, like I said, this is just a book, but you can pick it up right away. You're very bright. You. And just want to let you know, my son usually goes to bed when you're on, and he's like, shut that off. Last week, he enjoyed your show so much. You had your son Noah on. He was and even when you put Noah to bed, he was actually wanting to listen more because you kept talking about the school and bullying and all the views. And he said to me, he said, Karen really understands kids. And I said, Karen really understands people. Yeah. That's why she's on this show. It's not that she could just talk for 2 hours. The stuff that she says really doesn't make sense.
I appreciate that. Thank
and
you.
we appreciate you.
Thank you. That's very kind.
I just want to let you know that.
Well, I appreciate that.
From the mouth of babes.
And
you stayed up till 10 o'clock to listen to the rest of your show.
That is really, and I am humbled. I appreciate that.
I just want to let you know that.
I appreciate it. And I always say, that is what I always say. Like, if one person benefited from whatever any of us said, it makes it all worthwhile. I get messages from people after shows, and it really does. Like, it humbles me, and it makes my heart feel good, because sometimes, this isn't easy to do every week. No. And I'm trying to get, I told you, I'm trying to get guests on. I figured we'll have a bunch of people around the table talking. How freaking fun would that be? And, everybody was scared to come. So, and I understand that, because it's a lot, and not everybody, wants to do that, but I don't throw people on we're just talking. And a lot of times, whenever anybody does my show afterwards, they're like, wow, that was so easy. Like, I was fine. I could have stayed here for another 2 hours. And it's just, we talk, and it's not about pressure. It's not about anything. But sharing viewpoints is very different for everybody, because somebody may just look at something like you use the pause button, right? So maybe now
you'll learn something new.
Maybe there's someone out there that's ready to kill their wife, and they're going, all right, let me hit the pause button, and she lived another 5 minutes. I'm just saying. Sometimes
you didn't get the shoe in the mouth.
The shoe in the mouth, the ricochet shoe. I know the ricochet. I never got the shoe in the mouth, but my husband, I witnessed that thing. Those shoes ricochet through. By the way. Happy birthday, my mother-in-law. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Vicky.
Happy birthday, Vicky.
We love you. Yes. That she is the mad shoe ricocheter. She used to be. Yeah. The shoe, any Sicilian mother is a good shoe.
Right. I know. My mother's Sicilian. I know.
Yeah, and then the pots and pans, right? The pot, the
wooden spoon.
The wooden spoon and the pot. Yeah, that was always. But the shoe, definitely the ricochet around the freaking
or the
house.
slipper with the hole in the front for the toes to come out. They used to throw that one. I think
it
weighed 90 pounds. That slipper. Remember those things?
If it hits you, yeah, of course. Of course, the fluffy, the ones they give them to you when you go to the spas.
Yeah, but in those days they had a hard back to them, so it was like they could throw it at you.
Maybe your mother was just really good.
She had good aim. Yep.
Yeah, but you know what? And there's the problem too. Is that too many of the millennials and the now generation, they don't know what it is to get knocked in the head with the freaking shoe. It humbles you a little bit.
Hot water poured on you because you're not getting out of bed.
There you go. I remember. Yeah, I remember my husband saying that. I remember my husband saying that his father used to knock on his head.
Knocking the head.
Yeah, that's the one good thing about being a girl. I don't. Well, my parents weren't like that anyway. But no, I never got that. I just got guilted to death. Remember, I'm Jewish.
Jewish guilt.
I got guilted to death.
If you don't wake up right now, you're gonna regret it.
No, that's not guilt. No, it's.
How do you shame someone to get up?
I can't believe you're still asleep. We have to leave in 10 minutes. Now we're going to be late. And what if we don't get there in time? And, oh my God, I'm going to, twist my ankle because I'm going to be running and I'm going to get hurt. Oh, Trust me, you don't know guilt until you've dealt with a Jewish mother and a Jewish grandmother. Oh, Trust me. So now let's talk about we're talking about the whole, climate that we're living in right now, right? As we're both older now. I mean, am I allowed to ask you how old you are?
I'm 54, actually.
54. And you're younger than
47.
me. 47, right. Okay. And I'm 49. So we're all of the same generation. Yes. The generation that got hit by a shoe. And a lot of us now are divorced or unfortunately widowed. Some, the rare few that never got married, right? And so what do you feel? So how, being single, where do you meet people? All right, here goes the crickets.
Friends are friends.
Okay.
Sometimes, you meet someone. I've met people being out with my friends, and then they had, male friends that they introduced me to. Or if I would go out, I'd never really met people out like I was a stranger.
Okay.
Like anyone that I dated,
like a friend of a friend,
was always a friend of a friend, or I knew them from working with them at one point, and then we didn't work together anymore, or something like that. Like it was never like a blind date or like.
Okay.
Dating people at work is kind of hard though. That's
yeah, they say you're not supposed to shit what you eat.
I didn't.
Oh, right.
I didn't work with them anymore.
Okay.
I don't date people from work.
Former
I don't
employee,
do that.
yeah. It's not healthy.
No.
Because when the relationship ends, someone's got to quit.
I don't date people from work.
You don't shit what you eat.
No. Yeah, that's true.
All right, and what about you, Roger?
I gave up and I got nothing.
All right. So there we go.
No, I'm just kidding. I go out dancing a lot, but I come alone. I leave alone for the most part. But what the bottom line is this: after my son was born, I kind of concentrated on that for a lot of years. So,
of course, which you should.
So I don't really, get out as much as I used to. Now my son's a little bit older. I'm doing a lot more socializing, but.
And you are a very social person.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, you are, though. You're a very social person. I mean, my mother-in-law met you in the freaking chiropractor's office.
Crazy, I know.
How funny is that?
Well, she came on to me, okay? She came on.
I don't doubt it.
Seriously, she did. She goes, I know you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, do you go to 600 Club? I go, yeah, do you? And she's like 72 years old. And I'm
she's 74 today.
74 today, God bless you. And I said, she goes, I saw you in a picture with my daughter-in-law, Karen Stacy. And I'm like, okay, now I know. I know that you know me from somewhere.
Funny thing is that I think we met that night, right?
We met that night. No, actually, we met the prior month. I think in September. Yeah. And you introduced, hi, I'm Karen Stacy. You were pretty social. And I was just like...
Well, hello.
You were very social,
Of course. I introduced myself to everybody. I want more fans.
Yes.
I want more fans.
So,
but I didn't know.
Then we had met the night that...
Yeah, and I still didn't remember. I'm no offense. I didn't know who the hell you were.
I sent you the pictures with...
No, I know afterwards, but my mother-in-law is like, I met your friend. I go, who the hell are you talking about?
Right.
She's like, he's a really handsome guy. I'm like, what, who? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
thank you, Vicky.
And it was, and I couldn't remember, like, I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. Yes. And then she met you at the chiropractor, and she's like already, like, we're getting married and, having 6 kids. It was hysterical. It was hysterical. And only my mother-in-law, like, my mother-in-law, she knows like, it doesn't matter where we go, what we do, their family knows everybody. It don't matter what, where, how, they know everybody.
Well, now she knows me from the chiropractor.
I'm surprised she didn't come in to say hello to you already. I'm surprised she's not here.
I'm here, Vicky, maybe later.
I'm surprised she's not here. Yeah. But now, so I was talking about, like, I had someone on the show that, does a single events, right? Or singles events. So we were talking about that. Now, I wonder how do you guys feel about a single event? And I'm going to ask this question to people that are tuned in on our Facebook Live as well, and I will try to look at the feed. So, how do you feel about singles events? Would you want to go to a singles event, and what does that actually mean to you? Like, what do you think of when you think of a singles event? Singles event?
If someone said, do you want to go to a singles event, I'd probably say no. Not that I'm, only because, even if it was 10 years ago, only because it's like, I've heard of them, the speed dating places and things like that. And I think when the first internet dating services started coming out like 15 years ago, like Match.com and stuff, they started doing single events like that. And,
like a mixer?
Like mixers. Mixers are no problem, but if you're going to sit there and sit across from somebody and start asking questions and interviewing each other, and 10 minutes later you're on to the next one,
it's like a job interview, right?
It's like a job interview, and I wouldn't be.
Well, maybe not that kind. Like I would like a mixer.
A mixer,
like where you're at, having drinks and there's a DJ and you're mingling and working the room.
Right. So
that's okay.
Right. So and I think depending on how it's done, right? So I will tell you an experience that I had. Which led me to never go to another singles event again. It was my first and only. And me and my girlfriend were like, all right, you know what? Let's try it. So we went to this event, and it was like, I felt like prey. And it wasn't like it was it wasn't like they were a bunch of vultures. Excuse me, but it was like they were a bunch of vultures. Like,
sure.
It's like everybody knows that you're single, so they just think it's okay to come over and talk to you. Mm-hmm. Now, my feeling is this. Body language is still body language. Right. So whether or not, all three of us in this room are single right now, we're not trying to help each other's leg, okay? Just because you're single and I'm single doesn't mean that I'm going to get with you. Right. I know. Tracy's like, well, and then this one's like checking the time. All right, never mind. Maybe not you guys, but no.
No, but I know what you mean.
You know where? Yeah. So now all of a sudden I got these guys, which, and again, please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not full of myself. I don't think who I am. I mean, I do think who I am, but I don't not like that. Right. But I mean, like it's like even online, like. You can't command that. Like, you're not that person. You know, like, God bless you for thinking that maybe. But if I'm not looking at you and you're looking at me and I'm looking in the other direction,
there's no
that's
chemistry.
That's a good indication that maybe talking to me might not be the best thing because I'm not interested, right?
Gotcha.
So it was in that event, I was like, there is not enough booze behind that bar. And I gotta tell you something, they did not have any Patron. And my girlfriend got in touch with the manager, and she was like, "You better get a bottle of Patron because there is no way in hell that we're going to be able to stay here if she doesn't have Patron."
You know what I think? I think in a situation like that, because I've been to places where they had a regular open forum, but they had a table for, I think it was called Meetup. And on the meetup, people had a little. My name is Joe, or my name is Mary.
And then they ask you stupid questions, and you're supposed to put the question on your sticky so that the person, it's the answer to their question, or vice versa, and then they have to find the person. Well, you're 12.
Well, they would all be sitting at one table while everybody else is dancing around like normal people, or at the bar, and this one table of misfits are sitting together with their little name tags on. Hi, my name is Mary, and it's like a signal that I'm interested in meeting somebody. Right. That's what I'm here for.
Right.
They actually had that at Lull and Turn about 5 or 6 years ago. When I went there, maybe about 9 years ago. And I was like, look, this is a whole table of meetup people that are paying a separate fee
to be there. So again, I think that it's so as a single person, right? I ask. If I like to go to a place, I don't want to go to a place where it's all couples and I'm the only one that's not a couple.
Right.
I don't care. I walk in alone. I got used to it. I walk out alone. I don't have an issue with that. But I don't want to sit there with a bunch of couples, for the entire night. So, like, if you know that's the climate, then you know as a single person, then that's not really the place you want to go.
Right.
So, having an event that you know there are single people at, or, people that come, that's like a group, like what you were trying to say, like a gathering. I think that's a good thing. But I think that when you put that type of pressure, where it's single, like I said, like just because I'm single doesn't mean I want to talk to you.
Well, I think a lot of men would go to something like that and feel more comfortable going up to anybody because they're saying, okay, all these women are here, they're all single, they're here for the same thing, and even though they might look like Elmer Fudd and think that they all of a sudden get the beer muscles and can walk up to you, it's not going to work with a Karen Stacy or,
Right, but this is the hard thing about meeting, out and whatever is that I think also, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tracy, but I think now, wouldn't you say that at our age that you're more outgoing in the sense like, I realized when I was younger, I was such a bitch. I had that bitch face on all the time, right? And I was like, why don't people want to say hello to me? And then I realized, like a guy would come over and say hello, and I'd be like, and I'd turn around like, I didn't want to deal with them. And then I said to myself, God, that must have been really hard for him to come over and say hello to me. Mm-hmm. And then I stopped doing that. So don't you feel like now at our age that you're more open?
I am. See, when I was younger, I was actually shy. If you could believe it.
Well, you're still
she's friendly. Shy. I just want to say that because when I met her, she was very sweet. And I got to say that about you. You were very welcoming.
I am friendly to a degree.
You are.
The thing is, I usually have resting bitch face. So the people, seriously.
That's what I just said.
The people that don't know me, that only even in work and people growing up, certain ages, they just I don't like her, based on my face. But I'm usually my face goes according to what I'm thinking.
Right.
So it really has nothing to do with me being mean, but I get this resting bitch face thing.
Yeah, but
if you actually get to know me, I'm a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I'm not Rob.
That's how you got that label.
You know
Sexual
what I mean?
deviant.
Yeah. So you gotta get to know me.
No, but my point is that I think that now that we're older, I think that we are better expressive. No, but we're also more expressive. And I feel like men should kind of get the memo. In other words, if you're trying to talk to me or you're trying to make eye contact with me and I am not making the eye contact with you,
get the message, get the
message,
move on to someone who
see
is.
Where you gotta go. But women also have to be open as well, and I think that's what I'm trying to say is that. Men don't know. My husband used to say to me all the time, I don't have my reading cap on right now. Like, I don't have my superpower hat on. I can't read your mind. You're my mind reading. That's what he said. My mind reading cap. I don't have my mind reading cap on right now. So could you please tell me what the hell you're talking about or what you're thinking right now? Because I have no idea. Just tell me. So men are, cavemen, and they don't get it, and they're like, do you want to have sex or not?
That's another premise of the book. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We are hunters, women are not.
That though. Maybe I've been with some sensitive men. Like,
you must be. You sure you're straight?
Yes.
Only kidding.
Yeah.
Only kidding. I'm teasing you.
Or even like just as friends. Like I've had a couple of male friends that have express things to me, like asking me my opinion about, how to handle something with like a woman.
Absolutely. Yes. Of course. I
think men have feelings. You should have feelings.
Yeah, but they were probably a douchebag to the woman that they were asking you about.
And now we're looking to patch it up. How do I do this? We need a little bit of advice.
Thank you.
Exactly.
So now they're sensitive because they messed up, and now they're trying to figure out they need a girl's opinion on how to get themselves out of the situation they put themselves into.
Not always. Sometimes it's just a misunderstanding. And when they say men are from Mars, women are from Venus, we're two different species, and we have two different brains and two different ways of thinking. And a lot of times you're thinking something and I'm thinking something totally different.
Wait, no, men have two different brains in and of themselves.
Well, that's true. That's the upper and the lower. We understand that.
Yeah,
but ordinarily we are cavemen. We think about two things. One, good food and good fun, and not necessarily in that order. And when women have a little bit of a different mindset. And
yeah, we need to eat first. We need to be wined and dined and then 69.
Not order, right? I didn't want to go into any details, but I'm just saying.
Well, you got the wrong person,
then. I know. This is real talk. I understand. I'm trying to keep it politically correct.
I'm trying to see, but this isn't PG-13. It's all right. I'm trying to see what kind of responses that I got. Yeah, there are vultures. I usually do bars and music venues only if I'm single. I'm not single. Hey, everybody that's checking in on the feed. I appreciate it. I'm not ignoring you. The computer is kind of far, so we can't see your things, and we're talking amongst ourselves. So please forgive us for not responding. Singles event is not always about meeting and dating. It should be about meet and greet, especially for people who are not so social. But honestly, it's like a bunch of people who are desperate. Yes, that was exactly what I was trying to say, that it's like you become prey. And I'm not really cool with that. So somebody asked if you talked at all.
Yes, I talked.
No, we gagged her. All right, let's see.
That's material for another show.
Yeah, and we have already had that show. Yeah. Don't forget thirsty singles who are desperate to stalk others who are already in a relationship. You can find them on dating, social media, and in person. You'd be surprised. 8 eye rolls. You know what? Amen, sister. That is so true. That's something that I just don't get at all. If you're in a relationship, then you're in a relationship. And if you are not happy in that relationship, then get your freaking shoes on and take a goddamn walk. Because at this day and age, if you're banging somebody behind somebody else's back, and if the person you're with isn't making you happy, then you got no respect for yourself or the person that you're with. Because we're all adults now. And if you're not tickling my fancy and you're not making my monkey wiggle, then walk. And I think that was actually one of the things that we were going to talk about, Tracey, right? Like, we
oh yes, not settling.
Right. So that was one of the questions that we were going to talk about. So you guys are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com, and we are talking about men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Knights of the Round Table. We're just shooting the shit right now. So yes. So that was a question. Like, do we actually know what we want?
I think I do.
Okay, what do you want?
At the end, okay, All right.
It's
fun.
Such an easy question, right?
No.
It's a hard question. It's a hard question. You really have to know what you don't want before you know what you do.
But if you want to be in a committed relationship, you want someone that you could have fun with, that you can laugh with, that you're compatible.
Right.
You can trust that person. You're honest with each other. And you have a good time. And when you're not with them, you miss them. Right.
And now, what about trust?
Well, I want to be able to trust them.
Right. Okay. So want to be.
So there has to be like a level of respect and like.
Right. So here's the thing, right? I speak to a lot of people, and a lot of people have trust issues, right? Because all of us have gotten fucked. I mean,
baggage
and everything, right? So now, I could go on to 100 different things at this point, but I want to stick where we are at the moment, so that I don't lose that thought. But, trust is a huge issue, right? So it's, we talked about building a wall, right? So when you don't trust somebody and you've been through hell, you build a wall, right?
Correct.
And this has nothing to do with Trump, so don't go getting politically crazy on me. This is a wall that people build on their own. There's no Mexicans involved. and
you have to pay for it.
and unfortunately, the other person, the person on the other end of the wall is the one paying for it. So how do you build a relationship over a wall?
Yeah. It takes a long time.
Well, brick by brick, the wall sometimes comes down.
It's got to come down. Don't you think the wall has to come down? You cannot have a relationship if the wall is there.
If it's not the right person, you'll know.
After you get hit with the bricks. After you get hit with the bricks.
Like if you build up a wall because you don't want to feel anything because you've been hurt in the past.
Right.
And then you meet someone and you're like, let me just see how it goes, but you keep the wall up because you're not sure.
Right.
So you keep the wall up for a certain amount of time, and if the person is really special to you, or you start to develop feelings for them, then you'll feel differently about it. You'll feel like the wall is starting to come down.
Yeah, but you know what? So let's just yes, in theory, right? But let's say that the longer you actually, the funny thing about time is it shows everything, right? So you could meet somebody at our age and think you know the person, right? You feel like you're smart enough, right? You know the red flags, you know this, you know that. And then you give the benefit of the doubt because you try not to keep the baggage there. You do all of these things. And then unfortunately, and things are going great. And so now those bricks are coming down and you're trusting the person. Mm-hmm. And then bam, you get hit with the goddamn brick because the person does something that was completely untrustworthy. So at that point,
then you got to walk away.
Right.
Or the wall goes back up.
Right, and then the wall goes back up. So that's what I'm trying.
The next victim.
That's what I'm trying to say. But you can't build a relationship if the wall is there. So the initial question that we were going to ask is, was do you know what you want? And then the question would be at that point, do we see red flags and leave too soon? Or do we want the relationship to work and we stay too long?
How about if we have the wall up, are we ready to let it down and let somebody in? Because if that wall's not going anywhere, no one's permeating it.
Agreed. Right. So now let's just say that let's say there's like a hole in the wall. All right.
I always find the hole.
Yeah, of course you do.
In the wall.
Yeah, right. Nana from Mars. You found the hole. We got it. We
know.
In the wall.
Yeah. To break the wall.
So now, do you feel like I know that most people that still have that wall up or that have been hurt, the minute a red flag goes up, they're out. Right?
Some people, yeah.
Right? So now what's a respectable benefit of the doubt type of thing then? Should we, the red flag that goes up, should we just cut it at that point and cut our losses? Or should you give somebody the benefit of the doubt?
Everybody deserves a second chance.
Well, it depends on what the infraction was.
Okay.
Infraction?
Well,
I like that. Yeah, sure.
Violation. She's a speech therapist. She has very big words.
You do.
If it's something really big and it's like a hard no for you, that you're not willing to accept it, then walk away right then and there. Because chances are you may have gone through this before, so you're just like, before I endure another 6 months or a year of this, I'll just end it now.
As opposed to, seeing something happen, right? And then you give the benefit of the doubt, right? Because I'm guilty of this. I always make excuses for people. Oh, well, they were having a bad day, or, oh, I know they were busy. They didn't return my text. Oh, I know it happened once, it happened twice. Oh, but they were busy. And because if I don't return somebody's text, I'm not doing it intentionally. I really was busy and didn't have the opportunity to return their text. But the first minute I get, I do return them. Right. But a lot of people are not like that. But I try to give the benefit of the doubt, and I say, right, they were busy. They'll get back to me, whatever. But those are patterns. And those things happen, and then all of a sudden, like initially, when everything is all hot and heavy, you're getting text all day long, right? And then when things aren't so hot and heavy, and it's like, oh, what happened? I didn't hear from you today.
I left my phone in the car.
No, I was really busy at work, and I'm thinking, that's funny, because when you were texting me because you wanted to get in my pants, you weren't that busy, and you had your phone up your ass all day long. Right. And now, all of a sudden, either you ain't getting it or you got it. And now, all of a sudden, you don't have time. You're too busy. Oh, I'm busy. I'm going to get a fine if I'm on the phone. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get... Are you fucking kidding me?
It takes 2 seconds to send a message.
So, right. And
I can't talk now. I'll talk to you later.
It takes 2 minutes to send a message is exactly right. Because the 2 seconds that you're not responding to that text is also a message. See, and that's the part I have to tattoo on my head. Is that when someone shows you who they are... Believe them.
It also depends on what someone is for a living. If you're dating a bus driver who can't text while he's driving, obviously it's not going to happen.
But then he wasn't texting with me before that. That's my point.
Gotcha.
If you're able to do it before, then you're able to do it after. Unless life changed and you got a different job or whatever. Tracey works in a school. If I text her at some point during the day, she responds back.
Half an hour later, whatever.
Okay, whatever it is.
Yeah, sure.
And then the proper thing to do is, I'm sorry I was in class, or I just got out of work, or whatever. And then you address the person. Right. So, we're adults, and I think everybody should have consideration. Absolutely. And, like I said, there are times that you cannot get to your phone, you cannot get back to somebody, and sometimes you need to hit the pause button. And sometimes you don't get back to them because maybe what you're about to say
is not
needs to be paused. So you have to wait and choose your words wisely, right? Or sometimes you can't talk on the phone. Sometimes you're in the middle of something. People have the innate ability to text me or call me like exactly when I'm driving to pick up my son. I swear to God, my phone will start going off and my son, I go, Noah, no one has called me all day.
No.
My phone did not go off. I was looking at it like...
That's when everybody has the chance to get back to you.
Yeah, because they're already at the
No, but even just in general. And I start to laugh and he laughs. He goes, Mom, of course, because you're driving me. It happens without fail every single time I'm in the car with my kid. And it doesn't matter what time it is. It could be earlier, later, depending on what his activity is. My phone will blow up just when I have to go pick him up, and that's the only time. So then it's hard for me to respond because I have my phone on the thing, and my son is reading the text messages that are coming through. So I'm like, she's like, Mom, why did... And I'm like, don't mind your business, And so it's not always appropriate to get back to somebody. Mm-hmm. And I'm certainly not going to have a phone conversation because then he's like, Mom, who's that? What is she talking about? And then forget about it. So I guess the thing about this that we're discussing at this point would be that we should give the benefit of the doubt maybe once or twice, and
like she said,
depending
it depends
on
the infraction.
What it was. Yeah.
Depends on what it is. Yeah.
Okay, and
what was involved.
Right.
If there was something involved that was a game changer or a mood changer. That might have
meaning drinking. Else. Well, yeah, but still, you know what? You still got to own what you say. Like I said, even what I did, I think I could have worded myself differently, but the sentiment would have been the same either way. It needed to be.
I'm not saying you.
No, I'm owning myself. I'm speaking from my own. I'm not saying you're saying me, but I own it. I say it. It is what it is, and what are you gonna do? Oh well. Sorry.
No, but you had like one drink in you. But if you're out with somebody and they have like 15 drinks.
Yeah, but I swear to God, whenever I make my drinks in my house, I think I roofie myself. I don't know what the hell happens. I swear to God. And even Noah was like, Mom, but you only had, I think I had 1 or 2 drinks. He's like, Mom, but you didn't really drink that much. And I'm like, I know. And the same thing happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. I made myself a drink at home. And I said to my girlfriend, I think I roofied myself last night. Like, I was like, what happened?
Are you measuring, Karen? Or are you just like pouring?
It's a Karen measurement. It's no different than the measurements I've always made.
So it's probably 2 for 1. So if you have 2, it's 4.
Well, maybe. But still, it's not something I can't do or haven't done before. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it was just...
But the environment is different. Your mood is different. Like,
right.
It's different when you drink at home than when you drink in a club.
I know, but I have drank at home and being successful with it. That's what I'm saying. It's weird. But somebody brought to my attention
There's so many factors.
Yes, and the fact that I'm 49 years old and whatever the hell is going on with freaking Mother Nature, that probably has a lot to do with it too. I'm losing my goddamn mind.
Well, you look beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you.
So
See,
he's
Tracey. So good. He's so good.
That's right. No, you are.
He's so good.
Always, yes. And you're always so sweet to me, and that's all that matters. So I only met Tracey at Robert's birthday party, and you were very sweet.
Right, yeah, that's where we met.
Yes.
All right, so now, enough sweetness. Now I'm kidding.
All right, can we go? Are you serving anything tonight? I'm starving. Remember, we only want food and fun.
Yes,
not necessarily in that order.
So what about now? Now you mentioned something about like online dating. Have you done that, Roger?
It's really funny because when Match.com first came out, I think it was about 15 years ago. Yes, I did, and back then it was a little different than what I'm hearing now because I haven't done it in a lot of years. But back then it was a lot of serial dating, but not as much as it is now.
Serial dating meaning people just keep swiping and to keep dating somebody else.
Yes.
Okay.
And then it was like you have a great date. Everything was great, and then you just never heard back. It was like, what happened there? And then you find out later that they got back with their ex. They just went on there because they wanted to see if they still had it and whatever it was that they went on with it for. But what I found out, and I have nothing against it. Actually, I'm saying it on live, but I met a lot of good friends through the process, that people that I've stayed in touch with throughout the years. Mm-hmm. And then we became friends. We're still friends either on Facebook or on just in life. Maybe it didn't work out as a couple.
Right.
But I remained very good friends, and we follow each other's lives with their families and their children.
Well, you're a good guy.
Oh, thank you.
You're not when I did this show, I was like, okay, I need Tracey. Dory was supposed to come, but she's always too goddamn busy now. And then, you were going to come. I tried to, get a couple of other guys, and you were the one that said, and then I really needed, since you're such a nice guy, I needed like a douchebag Guido to come on with us, because I needed that other point of view, because he's too goddamn nice. And I was like, damn it, I needed like a douchebag Guido, because you're just too nice.
But I used to be a douchebag Guido.
Really?
Yes, I was.
I don't see that at
all.
all.
I was. I changed. I changed a lot. But I was always a charming douchebag Guido.
Yeah, but most douchebag Guidos are charming.
They can be charming.
That's how they get away with it, because they're charming. Because he's a douche. He's a douche, and yet you still end up in the car.
Right. Exactly. Well, I learned a new approach.
Yeah.
I'll just be nice all the time.
I see that.
But and that's why I'm approachable. Like you said, when you're approachable, people they gravitate towards you. And I never wanted to be considered a douchebag, so I changed my behavior. I hung out with a lot of douchebags, and I learned how to protect myself like a douchebag, and I learned how not to be that person anymore.
All right, so now that we have douchebag Guido in here, I guess I have to go into something else.
Are you talking to me?
Hold on,
okay,
please.
Don't forget about it. Don't even think
Roger.
I can't go back there.
Roger, that, please.
All right,
okay,
I can't even do it anymore.
Can't do it. All right, wait. Before I move on, hold on to douchebag Guido for a minute.
What?
What about you with online? Did you do it or not?
I never did it. I had a friend that suggested it when I first got divorced, and she said that it was just like a way for her to get out at like a certain period of her time. Right. And she would go on weeknight dates, like maybe do a Monday.
Okay. So that she didn't give up a good night.
She'd do like a Monday.
That's important. You don't want to do it on Friday, Saturday.
She would do maybe 3 weeknights, and then if she liked a particular person,
they would make it to the weekend.
Then they would offer like a Saturday, and then she would go on Saturday. So
That's
it might be like a coffee and dessert kind of thing. Right. Meeting up, or like just let's do breakfast, or like what.
That's
it was
smart.
Casual.
Okay.
The first date or two.
Right.
But I never...
You never did it.
I never did it. I didn't feel that I need to, and I always was meeting new people. So I just went with whoever.
It's easy when you're beautiful, Tracey.
Thank you.
So, does anybody care what I think, though?
How about
Doesn't
you?
matter whether you fucking
Have
care
you
or
ever
not.
dated anybody online?
I went online. I've discussed this on this show before. I went online shortly after, well, not, after I lost my husband. My girlfriend said, you have to be around adults. Like, you just have to get back into the swing of things. It was like, literally, she was just like pushing me, like, go play. Mm-hmm. Like when you go to school, like, go ahead, you'll meet friends, go. Right. And I went through the notions, and I met a couple of people, and it's funny that you say, the couple that I met, well, maybe there was 4 of them, I am still friends with them.
Good.
One of them I'm really good friends with, and the other one I don't think wants to talk to me anymore.
Is that the one you ranked out on Saturday night?
So, but yeah, one of them, I mean, like, even like we hang up the phone with each other, and he's like, I love you, girl. Like, that's how we really only hung out like once, but we talked on the phone like 100 years, and we're really close friends. Like, when I don't know what's going, like, I'll call him. Like, all right, look, what do I do? Like, should I do this or whatever? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I didn't have the terrible, like, a lot of people, they say that people aren't who they are. Mm-hmm. I had one experience, well, actually I had 2 experiences. One of the experiences, the guy, I guess whatever pictures he took, he had the right angle, because he was literally 600 pounds. And when he walked into the place that I was at, I was like, oh my God. And, you could see that he had confidence issues and stuff like that. And my girlfriend was like, don't worry about it. I'll take it. Go hang out, because there was somebody else that wanted to talk to me. She's like, go ahead. I'll take this one for the team. Go talk to my friend. I said, I'm not going to do that. It took a lot for him to come here. Obviously, he has, issues or whatever. I'm not going to make him feel bad. I'm going to talk to him for a few minutes. And then I'm going to, nicely say, it was nice to meet you. If you're ever in the area again, let me know or whatever, and try to let him down nicely. That was one. The second one was, I met this guy, and he spray painted his entire head. And I literally spray paint. Like,
What?
Yeah. Well, I guess, like, where the hairline, like, I swear to God, he must have taken, like, a cone of some type to, like, protect where his like, the shape of the hairline, and he literally sprayed, I don't know what it was. I'm a hairdresser. I really wanted to look at it and figure out what it was, because I couldn't believe it. And I'm thinking, if he got caught in the rain right now, this would be really hysterical. And that is really, and it's funny because we had talked on the phone or whatever, and then we were out, and I just didn't even want him anywhere near me. Like, he skeeved me. And he's like, I don't understand. We talked all this time. Why don't you want to talk to me now? And it was like, I kept like going like this, like to move away from him. And again, like, do you not get the signals? If I'm moving away from you and literally telling you don't touch me, then don't touch me. I'm trying not to be rude and run. Forrest, run, but and so that was really the 2 times I had those issues. All the other times I was pretty good. Like, a lot of people say they meet somebody and they were like 10 years older.
The old pictures, yeah.
The old pictures. And a lot of times I'll say that to somebody.
Pictures.
So I'll say, like, well, is that a current picture? No, it was a couple of years ago, but I look the same. Now, I know I have pictures from a couple of years ago, and I basically
do look the
same, right? So you got to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? I mean, hopefully I look better, right? I'm trying to look better, but not everybody is like that.
Right.
And so I guess, and then you have people that lie about their ages as well. Like, a guy clearly that's not 50, that's definitely 60 years old, and is saying he's 50 because he doesn't want 60-year-old women, which are his age. No. He wants younger women.
Right.
So now, if you're 60 and I'm 49, now that's not terrible. I could live with that. But if you're older than that, like if you're up there, my father just turned 76. If you're anywhere near my father's age,
by the way.
Thank you.
Neil, beautiful
man. Anywhere near my father's age, I'm throwing up.
Is he in the gym a lot? He's in
my father goes to the gym. As a matter of fact,
incredible shape.
Thank you. He actually, it was his 76th birthday, and Roger came last Thursday at Giganti.
I did stop.
Thank you for stopping by.
Of course.
And yes, he gives himself. He does challenges for himself every year for his birthday. And this year he challenged himself for push-ups. So I think he finally did 76 push-ups. That was his challenge.
That's crazy. I can't do that.
7.
I know. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so that was...
God bless him.
Yeah.
God bless him.
But,
what a sweet guy. He's got such a glow about him,
yeah,
too. You resemble him so much, too.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, we're trying to stay young together. We've been through hell and back, so we're trying to stay young together.
What a smile, too. He's just got such a...
Oh, thank you. Daddy, I hope you're listening. You're getting a lot of compliments. He's not just complimenting us, he's complimenting... See, I told you, if we had the douchebag Guido on here, this would not be happening.
That's right.
If Woody would have gone straight to the police.
To be honest with you, I was never the douchebag Guido. I played the part.
I'm sorry you have not fooled one of us.
No, she doesn't believe it. Okay.
You have not fooled one of us. We know that you are not.
Oh, really? Okay.
All right, so now here's the one of the questions and one of the things that prompted me to do the Knights of the Round Table this evening.
Nuts of the Round Table.
Nuts.
Like.
Yeah. You are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And thank you guys for tuning in. I have Roger and Tracey here that I have recruited for our Knights of the Round Table chit chat. So I posted something the other day. And it was very interesting, the responses that I got. So the post was, how do you lose a man? And there was a question mark. It said, by being a good woman. So I ask, is this real talk? So most of the men, a lot of men responded, and their responses, of course, were, no, it's quite the opposite, right? You know, like, in other words, they want a good man. I mean, they want a good woman, excuse me. That a man wants a good woman. Now, Tracey has this look on her face right now that speaks volumes. So, please tell me...
Well, you could... It all depends on him. So, you could be a good woman. You could do all the...
Whatever that means,
things,
right?
Whatever that
means.
You know, you could... cook and clean and be responsible. You could suck and fuck and do everything imaginable and still have someone that, you know, maybe betrays you, cheats on you, lies to you, is abusive, whatever it is. So if he's going to do that, he's going to do that regardless of the type of woman that you are.
True, right. It has nothing to do with you.
You know, that's how I look at it.
Right.
So, you know, people that are with someone that's doing those things and they're like, oh, I need to be better, or they blame themselves and they think it's them. But if he's going to do that, he's going to do it regardless.
That's the person's character, and that doesn't change. That's true.
So the question, so now, okay, that's a woman's point of view. So now man's point of view. How do you lose a man? By being a good woman. What's your response to that, Roger?
How do you lose a man by being a good woman?
No, how do you lose a man? Question mark. And then this statement is by being a good woman.
I got nothing. I don't really, I'm not quite sure how, like, I think for a man most men want a good woman, you know.
Right, and so I think that it really depends on what constitutes a good woman, right? So if I had a douchebag Guido on here right now, you know, you don't kiss your mother with that mouth, and, you know, you got the Gumata is the one that does all the things they want, but, you know, you got the you know, that's my girl, don't do that, she gave me blue bulls, she's a good girl.
Most men want an angel in the kitchen and a devil in the bedroom.
Yeah, but sometimes when you're a devil in the bedroom, they have a different, you know, it puts a different connotation on things depending if they're an insecure person, because the douchebag Guido is going to think that you are doing those things elsewhere as well, and those are usually the accusatory ones. So when me and my husband were, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend, and we broke up for a few years, I was with somebody in the interim. Mm-hmm. And when I worked in a hair salon, these guys would give me like badges. They would give me, you know, the cards, you know, cops, this, that, and the other. And he'd say to me, "Why are they giving you that?" I go, "Because I'm their hairdresser. I cut their hair." Right. He's like, "So why are they giving that to you?" I'm like, "Because I'm blowing them in the bathroom in between haircuts. Like, what is the matter with you?" You know, but that's the mentality is what I'm trying to say. So you know what? there's a lot of truth to the statement that was made. And yes, a lot of men reacted to that. But the truth of the matter is that when I met my husband, I was 21 years old, and I was the biggest bitch. I was a bitch. My husband worshipped the ground I walked on. Okay? And I was a bitch. I was a good-hearted woman, but I was a bitch. I used to do things for him. I cooked, I cleaned, I did whatever. He didn't appreciate it. Boom, I stopped. I used to get up. I used to make him breakfast. I used to pack him a lunch. He complained about it one day. Done. Never did it again.
Really?
And when we were married, he did his own laundry. My husband did everything. Everything. But I'm a good woman. It depends on what it means.
But you cut him off with the breakfast after he complained, you said.
Oh, yeah. I cut him right off. You don't appreciate what I do.
Was he doing laundry before that? Or?
Oh, yeah. No, this was when we were kids. This was when we were kids. But I'm just saying, a lot of women, our response would be, the nicer you are to men, the more they take advantage, the more they want, and you never do enough for them. So Tracey was saying before, you could cook, you could clean, you could just... Like, my husband didn't give a shit about a lot of things. He would tell me, have sex with me, make sure I got something to eat, and keep an eye on the finances. Those were the 3 things that he cared about.
That's one extra thing that I didn't mention before.
Right. Well, you got to keep
finances,
the finances. Right.
I could do that. I'm in finance, so I'll do that part.
There you go. But you could do that, but if your wife is spending all your money, then you're not doing it.
Well, that's when you cut the purse string.
Right. Yes. Well, I'm just saying that was the whole thing, is that, you don't want to tell your wife she can't use the credit card. It's just don't put $6,000 on it when you go, someplace.
Correct.
So it's that type of thing. But the essence behind that statement, though, speaks a lot of volume to me. No. Because women, we go out of our way to compensate, and men could say the same thing, to be honest with you. A man could do everything for the woman, and the woman could lose interest in him as well. Right. Right? So I think that it all has to do with the chemistry between the two of you. I never felt, even though my husband worshipped me, I never felt like I had him by the balls. Never. I knew damn well that if there was anything that went on, he would walk if he had to. I always knew that. And I think that everybody needs to know that in a relationship. Yes, I'm here. We are together. This is our situation. But you have to respect. You can't just take advantage. Right. And it's a give and take.
So getting back to your question that you posed to me, how does a man lose a woman? What disinterests a man? In other words, to change, even though, like Tracey said, she could be the great, provide the great, cook, cleaner, lover, etc. And all of a sudden it ends. What is it? You're asking me what that factor is that can just turn a man off just like that?
Sure, I'll go with that. I wasn't, but I like that question.
That relates to another part of the book where they consider men hunters and women nesters. Men always have a roaming eye. And women, when they're in love with that one person. I don't want to say that's true today, because with internet dating and with the availability of other men and the internet, women have also gotten onto that bandwagon in recent years as well. But for the most part, I think that women are more dedicated in a relationship than a man is. They have more heart in it.
Yeah, because we have more emotion. But I also think that, again, this is a very different climate. Yeah. Tracey, do you need a man?
I don't need a man.
Right. You're self-sufficient, correct?
I am.
So if you have a man in your life, they're there for a purpose of pleasure, correct?
Correct.
Enjoyment and pleasure. You don't need anybody to pay your bills.
Nope.
You don't need that. We all would like emotional support. We would all like that type of connection.
I get a lot of female emotional support, though. So I don't necessarily need male emotional support. But, physically, men are nice.
Right. But my point is this, is that to this question, we women are a different species now. Okay, so maybe that's why the book is being rewritten,
because women are getting tougher and more ballsy.
Independent.
So we don't need a man.
Good word.
Independent. Women are more independent.
For once, I used the non-politically correct word, and you used the politically correct word.
Well, women are more independent because, and again, sorry,
Absolutely.
but I think women have become more independent because men are not men to the same degree that they used to be. They don't step up.
They're not stepping up.
They don't step up,
no.
and I say that a lot, and that's when I get resentful, and you get those messages from me because you know what? I don't want to be the man.
Right.
If I got to be the man, I got no need for you. I got batteries upstairs. I'm good. If I got to be the man, go over there. I have a 10-year-old boy that I take care of. I need nothing. I don't need any more than that. So you got to bring to the table now, because the truth of the matter is that you want to date Tracey, you want to date me, you got to bring something to the table, because we don't need you.
No, that's true.
But that being said, men now in our age, they are successful mostly at this age. Mm-hmm. They are financially secure.
Correct.
And at this point, unless they fresh out of a marriage, they are self-sufficient.
Very much so.
You don't need us to cook for you.
Nope.
You don't need us to pay the bills. You don't need us to do your laundry. You don't need us to go food shopping, right, because you can do all of those things. Mm-hmm. So now women got to bring something to the table too. So it's an equality thing.
That's
Everybody's
true.
got to bring something to the table.
It's nice to have company though at this stage of the game.
It's nice to have company, but the wrong company is useless.
True. Very true.
Right? I'd rather be alone than be alone for the right reason than with someone for the wrong reason.
Right.
Hence why anybody that wants to buy me presents, batteries are always that's all.
She has a lot of those toys that like the Energizer Bunny.
The Energizer Bunny, right.
Kind of clean that up.
Yeah.
Try to clean that up.
So now let's talk about another question that was posed. Freedom in a relationship. So, like, what does a relationship mean at this point in our lives? Because we just discussed when we were younger. You get married. You form a thing. You get married. You get together. You live together. You share your expenses. Right. Maybe you buy a place together. You build a life together, and you're both pooling for this life. Correct. Now we have our own pools and
own interests and hobbies.
Right. So now, how do we form a relationship? What does that look like? And is there freedom? Like, how does a new relationship structure?
Casually or committed?
I guess either or. I mean, I don't know what and what's the difference between a casual relationship and a committed relationship?
Well, casual means that this is my opinion. So it's new, and you're getting to know each other, and you don't want to commit yourself 100% just yet. Maybe you're dating more than one person at a time because you're just trying to see what's out there.
Right.
Especially if you're on a dating website.
Right.
You might go on a couple of dates a week,
Just watch the spray painted head guys.
So, you don't want to commit right away until you get to know them and see, can I really build something with this person?
I saw that once.
But if you're committed, then the rules are different.
Okay, so what do the rules look like? That's what I'm saying. So what are rules? And who establishes them?
You have to discuss it from the beginning. It's what both of you want. If someone wants to date you exclusively and you're not ready for that, you should say, I'm not ready to date exclusively.
I'm just dating. Yeah, there's got to be communication.
And then they could either choose to go along with that or say, that's not really for me, and I'd rather not date you at all then.
Right.
That's fine. But you have to discuss these things in the beginning, especially.
So what about like freedom in a relationship? Like, let's say you're dating somebody and
they want to go play darts on Thursday nights.
Right. So
It depends where they're going for it. If they're going to Hooters, maybe not, or if they're going to the regular local bar with their boys, it might be a different situation. So.
Oh. Yeah, but if you're just dating something, who am I to tell you where you can and cannot go? You're an adult.
Right.
And if we're casually dating, I don't even need to know.
Right.
If you're busy on Thursday, I don't have to know anything about it. just say, are you free on Saturday? And I say yes, and then that's it. But if you're busy on a particular night, I don't need to know that. Right. But if we're boyfriend and girlfriend and you say, I'm going with the boys to Hooters, whatever it is,
right.
I should not then give you 50 questions about it.
But now should you text...
I just used Hooters as an example.
No, we know. But now let me ask you this. So now he goes out and he went to,
Hooters.
Roger's favorite place, Hooters.
No, and I'm not going to
have any Hooters?
I don't know. So now do you, so now is it do you expect to, are you going to text him? Like, do you expect him to text you throughout the night? And
No.
So you don't expect any type of interaction the whole night?
No.
Okay.
Because when I go out, I'm not texting you either.
Okay.
If I have girls' night out, I'm not going to be texting you every hour, or you're texting me all night. I'm out.
Well, we see you anyway. We're taking selfies all over the place.
But taking pictures.
All you got to do is
go on Facebook and know where Roger is.
You look at Tracy's timeline. You know where she is and who she's with.
Yeah,
that's right.
Pictures is
and
different.
we're all friends, so that's a good thing.
But now, what about you, Roger? If you're dating someone or you're with somebody and you're out or they're out, how do you feel about, like, do you communicate or?
It depends. Like I said, you have to have trust, and that's always been key in a relationship,
right?
And you have to give trust until trust is taken away.
All right. So what's the answer to the question?
The question is, at this stage of the game, you're going to go out, you're going to go have fun with your girlfriends. It doesn't matter to me at this point, because I'm secure in myself that I can actually say, you know what, I know that what I have to bring to the table, and I know you're doing what you're doing, and whatever you're doing, you're going to hopefully come back home to me or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm secure, like I said. I've had bouts with this, don't get me wrong, because when I was young, I had a big problem with it, and when I was old, I had a big problem with it. And it depends upon how my mental state is. If I'm feeling insecure, it's going to come out in the wrong way, and my trust issues are going to come up. But if I'm secure in myself and I'm secure in a relationship, I can understand that everybody needs their space, and people want to go where they want to go, and people want to go, if they want to go with the girls to a place that makes them feel comfortable, and that's their place, that's their night, whatever that is, that's fine. And it took me a long time to realize that I have to learn how to let go to embrace,
There's real talk right there.
Yeah,
learn
I don't know where
go.
that came from, but I had to learn
Wisdom.
to let go to embrace, because when I go out dancing, and these ladies know I come alone, I leave alone, I dance, I have a great time. And that's just me, and that's where I used to dance a lot more than before my knee surgery, but I still enjoy the music, and that's my high, So when I go out, I enjoy it. You say I'm social, I enjoy the interaction with people, and so I had to learn to let go, to embrace, and to let trust be trust, because in every day's a life experience. No matter how old I get, I can learn something every day from somebody.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every day something happens that will make you, that will definitely enlighten you. You're listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com, and my guests today are Roger and Tracy, and we're at the Knights of the Round Table tonight, and we are talking about the climate of life right now, and being single, and, even not being single and being in relationships, just the climate that's there, and how men are from Mars and women are from Venus.
Yes.
I think that something I've learned about myself, because I'm not a jealous person at all. I'm never jealous or envious of anybody, but I am territorial. You don't fuck with what's mine. So I saw a post, and it really resonated with me, because it said, I'm not jealous, I'm territorial. And I am definitely that.
Leo?
I'm an Aries. I'm an Aries, but a fire sign as well. Okay. So, I think that people, sometimes you can mistaken, jealousy or controlling, with someone that protects their own. So, like, I protect my own. If anybody that knows me knows, if I care about you, and even if I don't care about you, I protect people. Something happens to somebody, I'm always right there. That's just how I am. And like even like with my late husband, I was not jealous, but he used to laugh because he knew I wasn't jealous. And like the only thing, right, if anybody touched Joey's hair, I went nuts. I just had my thing, and I don't get jealous. I just know what other people are about. So when I'm looking, and I'll stand back and I'll watch, and I remember watching this one girl, I'll tell you her name afterwards, when we were kids, and we were at a bar, and he was standing by the bar, and I was back from the bar, and she came over like, Joey, and she's running over, she's putting her on, she's like all over him. Well, he wiggled in 15 different directions to try to get away from her, and he was giggling because he was bobbing and weaving to try to get away from her. So now I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, right? All right. She don't know we're together. Mm-hmm. I know he was he was good in bed. She's drunk. It's 2:00 in the morning. She's thinking, all right, great. I'm going to go home with him tonight, right? And then, hi. So, and now I'm like, so I give the benefit of the doubt. But now you see that I'm with him. Mm-hmm. Now change what you're doing.
Right.
Change what you're doing. Exactly. I didn't pull your hair out, and I didn't do anything. I allowed you to do what you did, and I was a kid at this point.
Yeah, but that's a matter of
20-something years old. Exactly. So that is my problem with people, is that people don't know their place.
You realize.
And they don't respect. So it's sometimes the guy, like my husband was doing, well, he was my boyfriend at the time, but he was doing nothing wrong.
Right. He's embracing somebody, or she was embracing him, really.
No, I saw him. I know his body language. He was trying to get away from her, and he couldn't because she wasn't letting him get away. And he was laughing because he didn't know what I was going to do. Like, it was almost like a nervous laugh, like, oh God, like, what's Karen going to do? And, but my point is that I trust people 100%. Mm-hmm. The person that I know I have a relationship with, I trust. It's the other people that have those ulterior motives that I don't trust. And I always let people know, well, I used to. Now I just leave it alone, right? But like I'll look at you and right away, I know what you're all about. So keep your distance from my man and there's no problem, right? I don't care. You're single. You're this. You're that. You want to talk to him. My husband, he had a million girlfriends and friends and everything. I didn't care about that because everybody was respectful. But when you're not respectful and when you cross a line, and that goes with men and women, and it goes with women and women, it goes with men and men. Some people are just not respectful of other people and their place, and you should always know your place. That's my feeling, right? I mean, so it's not about being jealous. What about if somebody's out and neither one of you said this? How about a text? I miss you. I'm having fun. I miss you. Talk to you tomorrow. Or what about like the guy that says, or the girl that says, just text me when you get home so I know you're safe. Not because I want to see what time you got home, right, but because I want to know that you're safe. Right. Where somebody makes you say like, "Oh, you were a dirty stay out." You stood out like my husband. I would be like puking my guts up. He's like, "Yeah, you had to have that other drink, huh?" And laughing, like not yelling at you about it. Like, all right, so you see, you drank too much and now you're sick right now. So you're a dirty stay out. You came home. It's 5:00 in the morning. Like, okay, and that's it. But just to know that the person is safe, and that's trust. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Not monitoring.
That's caring.
Right. And caring. And not monitoring. Right. Not somebody monitoring. Yeah. What are they saying? That Tracey doesn't, they're talking, I don't know what T-Mac. I don't know. They're trying to set you up with somebody apparently on the feed. I don't know what it is. But anyway.
Yeah, but that comes, I think, that's okay if you've been together for a while and you kind of, like, a month into dating, I don't want you to be like, I need you to text me when you get home. Like,
yeah, but the first time I meet somebody, I'll tell them to text me when they get home.
No, that's different if you were meeting with them. But if you were casually dating someone and he knew you were going out with your girlfriends, I would not be like, oh, let me text him and let him know I'm home.
Yeah, I guess, it just depends on the relationship and the person. See, me, I tell people all the time, like, even if somebody does my show and they leave, or even the other night when Derek Florin was at Noma, and I knew he had an hour drive, and I knew I was going to be asleep by the time he got home. But I said to him, please just text me when you get home. I'm going to be asleep, but I just would like to know when I roll over, I will look and see, and I want to know that you got home safely.
Great guy.
And that's just me, yes. And so, that's what I'm trying to say, is that it's just
caring.
It's a different thing, and it's all about being secure and just being a caring human and not a controlling person. That's the difference, right? Is control and jealousy over caring and sharing. So, all right. So we say that at this point in our lives, if you're in a relationship of any kind, whether it's casual or dating, you should trust the person and you should have your freedom.
Right.
Okay, so we hopefully everybody hit the like button on Facebook Live if you are on point with that. And at this stage of the game, everybody should have freedom and be happy. All right, so then another question that we had was, can you be spontaneous?
I can.
You need to be in a relationship, otherwise things get stale.
Right, and I mean, sometimes in life it's not easy to be spontaneous.
Not when you have kids
anymore.
Involved, obviously,
right.
Yes, of course.
Right, so sometimes it's not easy to be spontaneous. But yes, I mean, sometimes like if the weather's nice outside, I'm like, let's go outside and have a drink. Like, I want to have like a glass of wine on my deck, or I want to go sit by the water and have a drink. I mean, I don't get to I'm fortunate. My son is getting older now, and I have my in-laws, and it's a little easier for me to do that. But spontaneity is not really, like you said, with children, it's a little difficult. I mean, me, because I get brainstorms, I text you yesterday and you flipped over your time because you were supposed to have your son tonight, which I appreciate you doing. And, so this is what, it's hard to be spontaneous sometimes when you have and I did the same thing to you. I text you, I'm like, all right, come, are you free tomorrow? You're like, yeah, I'm free, I'll do it. And so that's fun. Like, I like to be able to do that. It doesn't always work.
It doesn't always work out, but if it can, I've done that where I maybe had, I was going to be in a certain area on a particular day, and I knew someone that lived close by, and I said, let me take a chance.
Right.
If you're free around 5 o'clock, I can meet you for one drink.
Right.
Whatever it might be. And sometimes it works out.
Right.
And then even if it's an hour.
Right, but now what about, if, the women or even the guys, because I know a lot of guys that are bitches, that it takes them 3 hours to get ready.
All right. Sometimes you just,
Not me.
if you know you only have that 1 hour, let's say I'm in the house and I have no makeup on or whatever, and then he's just get dressed. Get dressed and come. I'm coming to pick you up in half an hour.
Right.
I can't be like, oh wait, I have to wash my hair, and I have to just say quickly, okay, I'll because most men don't care. They want your company. Or he might just say wear heels and a trench coat. I could do that.
Right. Right.
So,
there you go.
Sometimes you need to do that.
What about you?
What are you doing later? I'm sorry. I'm very spontaneous. It's hard when you have children. I've learned to take the fastest showers of my life when my son was very young. I mean, literally a 5-minute shower, because when you're alone with a baby, you can't really be in the shower for a half an hour. You got to do your thing. So but I've always been a quick. But I have my son quite a bit. I have him 2-3 nights a week and all day Sunday. So it's and or Saturday, depending upon what's going on. And my life, pretty much like yours, revolves around his sports, his activities, his things that he does. So, luckily, fortunately, I have his mom, who's great, and she's also part of the game. So it's a lot easier for when there's two parents. But when there's one, I commend you, because it must be very difficult.
Yeah, thank you. And people ask me that a lot too. And that is the truth. Even with trying to meet somebody. I'm 49. I have a 10-year-old son. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of people that are my age and better have older kids.
That's also a
challenge. And, they're like, I already did that. I don't want to, I don't want to deal with that, and which is understandable, and it's okay. Mm-hmm. But then there are a lot of men that, really love children, and, they're okay with that, as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely, and Tracey, you don't have children. So what is it like trying to date someone that has kids?
I mean, I have dated a couple of men that had children. But the big difference for most men as opposed to when they're compared to women is that most men are not the custodial parent. So generally speaking, I might be dating a guy that sees his kid, every other weekend or something like that. Right. So it's not going to really affect me too much in terms of, maybe me spending time with them on the weekends but as a woman that has custody of her children, for a man to date, and especially if the father's not around. Like, if the father's around and the kids see the dad, then he has when the kids go to the dad's house. But if there is no dad, then
it's very
you got to get a babysitter,
right?
Or they go to grandma's house or something, and, so it's different,
right? And and again, people have to be conscious of that, and I don't feel that your children should be involved when you're forming a relationship.
Absolutely not.
Because,
they don't need to see that.
No, but my son also, he's not the type that gets attached to people, so I could introduce him to somebody and he'll never ask me about them again.
But you have 1,000 friends, so he might not see the difference between your friends and somebody you're dating.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe, but it doesn't matter. Whether I have 1,000 friends or one friend or whatever, it really doesn't matter. He's not that kid. Some kids get very attached and you can't introduce them to anybody because, if you don't know that they're a constant, or they'll even ask like, oh, I haven't seen, so-and-so in a while or whatever. So that's not my kid. So I know, and I don't put him in those situations. I guess after losing his father, he was never that kid though, but I guess after losing his father, he's that much less, he don't really, not that he don't care, but he don't care. Like, he'll meet you, he'll love you to death, but he'll remember the interaction that he had, but if he never saw you again, he really wouldn't care. So it is what it is on that one. But Trace, you said something before, like you said, like you would come out and you'll wear a trench coat and heels.
Red heels, yes.
So now, that's a good question. So when I was younger, I was the type that always defied whatever somebody asked of me. So like, when we were getting married, I had said to my husband, what color do you want my hair? And so, because I went blonde for like our engagement, I was completely blonde. And then, so he goes, dark. That's you. You're dark hair. That's how I want you. Now,
I agree. I like you.
Thank you. Now, I grew a lot because I had my hair. My hair was so dark, no highlights, nothing for my wedding. Normally, he knew that if he told me dark, I would have gone platinum. But I said no, and I took into consideration how he felt, and I wanted him to be happy.
Okay.
So the question is, do we do things for our significant others or dates or whatever that make them happy? Like, in other words, like he wanted me to have darker hair, I had dark hair. I know sometimes, you meet people, you got a boob guy, you got an ass guy, so maybe if you got a boob guy, you show cleavage, and if you got an ass guy, you're showing your ass, right?
Yeah, if I like you enough to hang out with you and date you, and I know that there's certain things that you like, I'm going to try to make you happy. Like, it costs me almost nothing. It costs me almost nothing to do those things for you.
Right. And you can't beat the response, right?
Because I give what I get. So if you do certain things that make me happy, or you just, you listen to me say certain things, like if I mentioned a bottle of wine and you remembered the name of the wine, and then when I went to your house, you said, oh, look, I have this wine that you like. Like, that's really nice. That you paid attention enough and thought about me and said, she likes this wine.
Yep.
I'm going to have this wine for her in my house.
Yep.
Whatever it is.
Yep. You're in.
Or if you heard me mention a particular restaurant and then the next time we went out, you said, oh, look, I made reservations. I know you never came here before.
Right.
I'm like, that's nice that someone would do that.
Well, that's taking someone else into consideration, right? I mean, that's what that basically is. It's, if somebody, I have, somebody that likes schoolgirl skirts or whatever.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, make sure, you're wearing the schoolgirl skirt. And maybe I wanted to wear jeans that night. But I'm like, all right, let me put the schoolgirl skirt on because that's what they like.
Yeah.
And, which you're not always feeling it, but sometimes you feel, even like as a woman, you feel more empowered, you feel sexier when you do that, because if you know that that's what that person likes and it turns them on, and now they're going to be looking at you all night like that, that's empowering. That's awesome. Makes you feel,
Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Turns me on too. It turns me on to turn you on.
That's what I mean. It makes you, because now you know that you're getting that response. So, I think, but that's the whole thing, is it's compromising, right? So it's recognizing someone else and what they want and what they need, and then having fun, right? I mean, because if you're running out of the house in a trench coat, that's got to be fun.
Yeah.
Was there anything under the trench coat?
Lingerie.
That's got to be fun.
Might be chilly, but yeah, it's fun.
Well, not in the middle of the winter. Then I would wear the other coat.
Ah, yes.
There you go. So you have to have a coat for all outfits.
Yes.
There you go. Well, yeah. I mean, now, Roger, what about on a man's side? Like,
yes.
Would you do that if you knew the woman? I don't know. Do women care?
I don't really get requests. Like if someone says,
I was gonna say, do women care about what we wear? What you guys wear?
Not too much, unless you're dressed totally inappropriately, which I hope never to be. I used to, be a fashionista when I was younger.
I like a tank top on a guy. I do. Not gonna lie. It's nice when you take the shirt off and then they have the tank top underneath. I don't like to
Make
get
a note
right
of
to
that, guys.
The
right,
guinea
Tracey,
tea?
The guinea tea. I don't have one on tonight, but...
That's it, you're out.
That
Roger, you're out. Tracy's
I'm out.
done.
That's it.
Roger fucked up already.
That's it. Sorry.
Roger that.
I didn't get the memo until just now, though, so for future reference, I'll stop at the store on the way home.
Oh, I freaking can't. All right, now, where else am I going with this? Let me make sure, because we're running out of time. So... you are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com, and
questions?
I have Roger and Tracy here with me, and we are discussing the climate that we live in right now, and dating, meeting people, everything, right? We're talking a little bit about everything. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Yes.
Where's Uranus? I don't know.
Not too far from Venus.
And then here's the thing. How about simplicity? Why is everything so goddamn difficult? Right? So you meet somebody, you like them. Does it really have to be this freaking difficult? Should it be difficult or should it be easy?
If it's too difficult, it's
probably
they're probably not for you.
I like that.
I mean, if things just, I don't know. I guess now that I'm older, before you would try to see, this glimmer of hope or something.
Yeah.
Because you really like that person. But now I could usually tell right away, if I want to pursue.
If there's too much work.
It or not, and I'd rather not sometimes.
Right, because we want it simple, right? Because life is busy enough and we have enough things going on. We're juggling, most of us are juggling a couple of different things, right? Mm-hmm. So now I don't need complication. One guy I dated a couple of years back, which was the only one that I actually dated for, I don't know, a couple of months, right? And I remember he flipped out because I went downstairs to do my laundry and I didn't bring my phone with me. And at the time my foot was broken, so I was hobbling down with the boot and all of that. And he was like, "Where have you been?" And I'm like, I was doing laundry. And he's like, "I've been calling you." I'm like, "Okay, well, I didn't have my phone on me. I was, downstairs, and I was actually, I can't believe I made it down the stairs, and I made it back up the stairs, So he was like, "Well, what if I needed you?" And I'm like,
"What?"
And I just remember, and he made me feel so bad, and I'm like, and I should, there was the red flag right there, right? And I should have ran. Run, Forrest, run, right? But, I think, okay, well, I didn't have my phone. He was worried or whatever. Okay, give the benefit of the doubt. But then those things, they tend to repeat themselves, right? And then you realize, I should have ran right there. That was the red flag. But I gave the benefit of the doubt, which is the reason why I asked that question about how much we should give the benefit of the doubt. And then you get smacked in the head and you realize, okay, peace out. Peace out, Cub Scout. So yeah, we want it simple because that was way too difficult. Like, why would it matter? Oh, I didn't get in touch. Oh, I left my phone upstairs. I wasn't going to carry my phone and the laundry and hobble down with my broken foot. So, like, it should have been, okay, I was,
So did that get worse later? Or?
Yeah, really bad. That's how that ended up. Yes, very bad. Okay. Very bad.
That was just the start of the
that was the start of the end. But yes, that got very bad. So yeah, we want simple. So what about our past? Should we... If you're with someone, if you start dating somebody and everything, should we be discussing our past with our present or future?
It depends on what you're discussing.
That's such a man answer.
Oh, come on. That's what you're discussing. I mean, you might not, want to discuss, like, things that are embarrassing, like incarceration or something like that.
Oh, I think that's exactly something you should discuss.
I'm just saying.
Something like that. I think you should discuss because that should
be open. Yeah, I know.
That's not something that you should find out in another way. Maybe you shouldn't discuss, your past 16 relationships. Right. But what's your thought, Tracey?
Well,
past 16 relationships.
I mean, everybody, when you're dating, once you're into your like late 30s, 40s, and 50s, and you're dating, everybody has baggage at this point. Of course, right. So I don't necessarily believe that you need to discuss your entire like relationship history with someone.
Correct.
Especially in the beginning.
Right.
That's, maybe later on, if you're really together and you've been together like a year and then you did have a particular relationship that maybe caused some type of an impact on your life and causes you to be a certain way, maybe it's okay to say like, well, I was cheated on once and that really affected me or something to that degree. But you don't have to give the whole synopsis of everything that happened. Because you should just start fresh.
Right. I agree with that. I had I remember one conversation in particular I was chatting with someone online a while back, and he called me, and I'll never get that hour back of my life. I mean, he just went on and on about his ex, where I literally didn't speak the entire time.
That's a flag. He's not over.
Right, and me being me, I listened. I should have just been like, I gotta go, and hung up the phone, right? But I didn't, and I listened. So yeah, I mean, if you're going to talk on a date or when you're getting to know, I think that there are certain things that are important because people need to know where you're coming from. So if you're someone who dates a lot, then, maybe you need to be forthcoming in that. If you're somebody that doesn't date a lot, then you need to be forthcoming in that. I mean, at this stage of the game, we're all where we're at for a reason, right? Whether it was because things didn't work out, whether it's because someone passed away, whatever the case. So we've all hopefully have learned from what we've been through. So many people have not learned, have not healed, have not processed, and they carry whatever ruined their last relationship into the new relationship. Right. And then it's, why me? Why you? Because you just took your shit and brought it to another place. That's why.
Correct.
It's like, oh, I need a new start. I'm moving to Florida. Well, all of your demons are coming with you to Florida.
Geographic's not
so
changing.
The only thing that's going to change is that you may have to deal with a hurricane. And other than that, you're going to have beautiful weather, right? Other than that, unless you suffer from, depression from the winter, I don't know that it's going to change much. Correct. So people have to grow from where they are in order to go someplace else, right? So if you're going out and you're talking about your ex on a date, odds are you need help.
You need time to get over and process and maybe get into therapy to figure out
and that's the whole thing is that you got to fix yourself.
Before you can
check yourself before you wreck yourself. You got to fix yourself before I say that all the time. Before you go into something else, you have to fix it. You can't build a house on a bad foundation. The house will still crumble. So you can't expect someone else to fix you. I posted something, I think, was it today or yesterday? And it said something about the broken pieces.
I saw it.
And how, you hopefully you find people that help you fix the broken pieces. And, my question was, are we in fact broken? And, and sometimes the pieces just fall where they may. So, you do have to pick up. I think we're always picking up the pieces, but it's just a matter of what you do with it at that point. But you can't fix me.
Can't fix
Only we can fix ourselves, and maybe we can be supported by people around us, right? But nobody else is going to fix it. You're not going to meet you're not going to meet Prince Charming himself, and he's going to fix any issues that you may or may not have, right? So it's all about, owning who you are and where you are and what you are, and then moving from that point forward.
That whole thing about, was it Jerry Maguire, and they said, you complete me?
Yes.
Yeah, that's baloney, because...
You had me at hello.
You had me at hello. You complete me, because if I need you to complete me, that means I'm not completing myself. So
yeah, but you know what?
If I'm bringing half of a person into this relationship, and you're the other half person that's going to make it one, it's not going to work. We need 100% equal 100%.
Correct, but I don't know if that's how I don't look at it that way. You complete me, like when you're in the right relationship...
Right.
When you have that, it completes you as a human. Like, in other words, like just the same way that you changed as a human when you had your son. Right. That completes you in a different way. And that is another person that's bringing something to the table to you, and it's completing you. So, yes, you can't rely on someone to be your other half. Right. But the truth of the matter is that when you are with someone, they do become your other half.
And they can bring out the better part of you.
And they do complete you.
But if I'm broken from previous relationships,
right? No, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
You, absolutely. A perfect person, I'm just going to corrupt you.
Totally. Yeah. Totally.
If we're both corrupt, two dead batteries don't make a spark either,
Right, and we know we need batteries that work. Yes. No.
Duracell.
Totally agreed. But what I'm trying to say is that people can complete you when you are already complete. It's not fixing you. It's just making
you're enhancing my already complete life.
Making you more. That was what I meant when I said that. So we have gone, look at it, it's 2 hours now. Could you imagine how fast the time went? And we didn't even cover almost everything. I know, right? We didn't even cover everything that we needed to cover. And I didn't even get to people's messages on here. So I'm sorry. We were just shooting the shit. So
right, we're hanging out.
So now, what's going on? Let's think for a second here. So next week, this is so exciting. I just found out. So I have I went to Performing Arts High School, right? And so I have a lot of friends that are in the business. And next week, my friend Carl Anthony Payne is going to be in New York. He used to be Cockroach on The Cosby Show when we were growing up.
I know who that is.
And then he was on the Martin Show, right? Martin. He did comedy on that. And a bunch of other things, which I was trying to ask him today, and I couldn't even remember all the stuff. And then obviously I haven't seen him in fucking 30 years. And now he's a producer, he does directing, and now he does comedy, which, I mean, it's so weird. My friend Hank that was on the show, he was a drama major, and now, he has a band, and, he does music, and he has an album, and, and I'm like, where did all this, but it's talent, right? So it just comes out in all different places. Mm-hmm. So we were, thick as thieves. I'll show you after, we were my Sweet 16, there's pictures of us, and I mean, it was 33 years ago. We look like babies. It's just crazy when I was looking at that. So anyway, he's coming. He lives in LA, and he's coming to New York, and he's going to be doing a show at a place called Salsa con Fuego, which is in the Bronx, the Boogie Down.
I fought him.
Yes. Have you been?
I did go once.
What's it like? It looked nice on the website.
It's big.
Is it?
It's pretty big, yeah.
So apparently on Tuesday nights, different nights too, but apparently on Tuesday nights they do a comedy thing, and he's performing. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to get an email from they didn't send it because I was going to get more information on on what was going on. But anyway, next Tuesday night I'm going to do a pop-up. I'm going to be at Salsa con Fuego. Some of our high school friends are going to come too to support. So anybody that wants to come down, it's in the Bronx, like she said, by Fordham Road.
It's on Fordham, right where the Deegan is.
Okay. Okay, so not far from Westchester people, and then still close to Bronx people or whatever. So we're going to be there. I'm going to be doing the show with him live, and then I'm going to listen to him do his comedy routine, which I haven't heard yet, so that should be very interesting.
That's fun.
And yeah, we have amazing chemistry together, and we were, like I said, he was the one that was telling me I was going 600 miles an hour today. And I'm like, hello, have you met me? And I might have also had a shot of espresso prior to the conversation. So that could have done it. But yes, so next Tuesday I'm doing a pop-up at Salsa con Fuego with Carl Anthony Payne, Cockroach from the Cosby Show, on Martin. I forgot who he played on Martin. What was his name? Cole. I think it was Cole was his name on the Martin Lawrence Show.
He was growing up by then. He was older.
Yes, he was older by then. They did the Cosby Show when we were in high school. Him and my other friend Andre Whitfield, who was on one of my first shows. He was on the Cosby Show. He was
he Gina's
Robert.
brother? Gina's brother on the Martin Lawrence Show?
I don't think so.
No friend or something?
No, they were friends. I don't think so. I think he yeah. So that's where I'm going to be next Tuesday. And next Tuesday, again, we are starting the Digital Internet Streaming Alliance. So I'm going to be on WMLO. Okay. See, I can't. I got to practice that.
MLO?
WMLO.
Right.
WMLO.
Just think of me, mortgage loan officer.
Jesus. Then I'll really screw it up.
It's
It's a unified network of internet radio stations working together to bring the ultimate listening experience. So Miami Mike had mentioned to me that this was all coming together, and it's really quite exciting because we are going to take over internet radio at this point, because there's probably at least 10 people that are part of this alliance now.
Okay, good.
So it's pretty freaking cool. And again, I'm very honored to be a part of that. So I'm doing my pop-up and that. So next time...
Are you doing the whole show from there then?
I'm going to do the whole show from there, yep. Okay. So we're going to be there. I don't know, how long, because I know he's going to have to go on. So I'm going to get him in a private room, and we're going to talk. And then he's probably going to have to go on. They said for him to be available about 9:15. I may do my show a little shorter that day, or I may actually take everybody with me and leave the private room and walk downstairs into the main area. Haven't figured out yet.
Broadcast the comedy skits?
Well, I won't broadcast the whole thing, but I might do the Facebook Live. I don't know if Miami Mike would want me to have it on there, but I'm going to talk to him and see what his feelings are. On that. But it should be fun. It's exciting. So if anybody's around on Tuesday, you guys should definitely come. It'll be fun.
Go to Pugsley Pizza right after that.
Oh, boy. Is that where that...
That's where that is, Fordham Road.
Yeah. Is Pugsley on Fordham? I had no idea.
191st and Fordham. I Googled it because these guys keep going.
Oh, they always go there.
And then I haven't gone yet. Anthony, you didn't let me know you were going last time. I'm going to get you for that.
Oh, yeah. They always end up there. It's either there or Candlelight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they Candlelight?
Yeah, they go to Candlelight a lot.
I am all over those wings. I don't eat pizza, but I would be all over those. Although at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? You can
How
eat
hot do you go? Do you go for the Chernobyl?
I like it hot, baby. No,
really?
I do. No, I get the sauce on the side because I like them crispy. So I do crispy and the sauce on the side.
They were known for their wings.
Oh, they're so good. Do you wanna do you want to do the? You want to tell everybody the shows on Miami Mike Radio? I mean, you'd probably know them better than I do.
Well, things have been changing.
All right, well, we'll work together.
Okay, so on Monday is the Portuguese Prince.
Right, but before that, we got Luke now.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we have DJ Luke G with Tech House Mondays from 12 to 2.
I thought it was at 1.
No, it's
1 to 3?
12 to 2.
Oh, okay.
12 to 2.
That's not what I have. Okay, 12 to 2.
12 to 2.
There you go.
Then we have the Portuguese Prince, Paul Lorenco, and his Princess Donna Macchia.
At 6 p.m.
6 p.m. Tuesdays you're on. No, Tuesdays in the afternoon at 1:00 we have Steve Simply Nice.
Yep.
Wasn't my Miami Mike filled that day from 12 to 2?
Well, he pops up. He just
popped up. He was playing my jams today.
Michael
Thanks,
pops
Mike.
up. He did it early though. Yeah, it was early.
I was digging that shallow more.
He was on like 12 to 2 or something.
Well, we also can't forget the first Monday of every month we have Rob Mush Mind Candy.
He was on last night.
Very good, yes. And then Tuesdays we have Simply Nice, which is on from 1 to 3.
1 to 3.
And then, see, Tony wrote this, you see, and some other shit at night.
And we have Karen Stacy at 8 p.m.
Real Talk with Karen Stacy. And then
Wednesdays is Mayhem Loyal Listener Show. It's new time, 8 o'clock. 8 to 11. Usually it runs late. By the time they get through all the phone calls and stuff, it usually runs late.
So then I shouldn't feel so bad that we're 7 minutes over right now?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Thursdays we have DJ Michael Ancelone.
Michael Anthony at 4 o'clock.
He's at 4 from 4 to 6.
Which I gotta say, last week I was getting ready for Gigante on Thursday night, Gigante Thursday that I host. And it was my dad's birthday, so I was going a little bit earlier. We were having dinner beforehand, and I was listening to Michael Anthony on while I was getting ready. And that music was banging.
He's good.
That was banging. I was like, holy shit. Like, he was playing old school, freestyle, old school music. I was like, that's banging. I actually texted him. I was like, that's banging. I don't get to listen to a lot of the shows because of the time and stuff.
They're all great DJs.
You know, yeah. And then speaking of great DJ, after him is Frankie Maggs. At 8 p.m.
Also awesome. He's great DJs.
He had us jumping on our feet at, what was it, 3:30 in the morning.
What was the song that you felt that he
Weep.
Weep?
Weep, yeah. Brazen Weep. That is one, that song is, that song does things to my body. I mean, and no one plays it. No one ever plays it.
I don't even know it, and I have to hear it.
Yeah.
Is that a freestyle?
No, it's not freestyle. It's more like techno, like a techno house kind of.
Really? Yeah, like it was from the early 2000s. Like, you know, like 99 or like around there.
Okay.
2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably if I heard it,
if you didn't listen to that type of music, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it. That's why, like when he pulled that out, I was like, let me find out he's playing that song. I was like, wait a minute. I heard dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. And I'm like, he's playing with me, like, because normally, like, some DJs will put that in, and they'll just do that. It sounds like it, and I'm like, oh my god, and I'm like ready. I'm about to like come. I'm like, oh my god, dun, 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 dun. And then they go into like, you know something else, and I'm like, god damn it, that wasn't it. So when he played that, I was like, holy shit, he's playing it.
Praise and weep.
Yeah. So thank you, Frankie. I love you. All right, so what about Fridays?
Fridays is Friday Night Sessions. It starts at 8 p.m. with DJ Simply Nice. And then at 10 o'clock, Tony Sinapi takes over until his eyeballs are falling out.
Poor Tony. Tony's everywhere.
He is.
He's everywhere.
He is.
He really is. What a great guy.
Also a great DJ.
Saturdays, do we still have Ghazi?
That's what I'm told.
Okay, DJ Ghazi at 8 o'clock from 8 to 10. And then at 10 o'clock, Anthony Mangini takes over with his Saturday night dance party.
My 19th favorite DJ.
My number one favorite DJ.
Oh, I see that.
I love Anthony.
Aww.
So,
and then Sundays, I don't know if he came yet or not, but we had coming soon. We had Anthony Grimaldi is supposed to be on Sundays.
Yay.
Yeah, so I don't know if that happened yet.
Because, 2 p.m. right? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a time.
I haven't heard him yet.
We'll need an update.
I'm looking forward to you listening.
We need an update.
I've been asking for updates. No one loves me. I'm the redheaded stepchild of Miami Mike Radio. I need an updated version, I tell you.
You're the Tuesday other something other, whatever they call it.
Yeah, I'm that other, and some other shit
that's on at night.
At night, yeah.
Some other stuff.
That was what Tony wrote. That was hysterical.
Who said that? Tony
He's very funny. I love Tony.
Tony, he's a sick kid, too.
He's got a warped sense of humor like the rest of us.
That's Bronx. That's Bronx people
he's
for
a pervert.
You. No, really?
Yes.
A pervert to a sexual deviant. That speaks volumes. Tony, I see you in a different light. I can see the light. Well, I want to thank you guys both for coming tonight and filling in on and fulfilling my brainstorm of a suggestion. I hope that don't know. I think we talked about a lot of stuff that I think people could benefit from, right?
Right, sure.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? That's always what I say. And
Karen's motto.
Right. And for all of you guys out there that don't want to lose a good woman, step it up. Bring it to the table.
That's right.
Because if women feel that the best way to lose a man is to be a good woman, then you're going to be missing out, because they're not going to give you that, because they're not going to be good, because they're going to think that if they're a bitch, they're going to get more out of you. Then, so if someone is good to you, be good to them and let them know that you appreciate what they do. Whether it's a little something, whether it's whatever, you have to let somebody know that you appreciate that.
Thank you goes a long way.
Hey, babe, thank you so much. I even say to people, thank you so much for returning my message. Thanks so much for responding to my text. Just little things like that where, you appreciate it. And it seems simple enough, right?
Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Remember what I said the other day? Ask instead of tell. You can get a lot more flies.
Right,
you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Except when
I had posted a meme a long time ago that said, treat me like an angel and I'll show you what heaven's really like.
There you go. I like that.
I got a halo in the car.
I like that. Yeah, go get the trench coat. Never mind. But again, I thank you guys for tuning in to Real Talk with Karen Stacy, live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. I thank Roger and Tracey.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Thank you for having me back again.
Yes, my repeat offender.
Repeat offender.
She's always, us Bronx girls, we got to stick together.
Yes,
we got to stick together. I mean, and it was funny too, because I saw you Saturday night. We didn't really see. I mean, I think it was late when I finally saw you. Like, I knew you were there, but
the CEO just came on.
Am I in trouble? Did I do something wrong?
No, we're not in trouble.
We're not in trouble. Okay.
No.
Well, then we're not done yet. No. If we're not in trouble,
thanks for the music, Mike.
Then we're not done yet. Yeah, I think I saw you, and that's why, I love you, because it was somewhere in the middle of the night, and we just, and I said, hey, I haven't seen you all night. You're like, I know, I didn't see you either. We just hugged each other, and then we never spoke again the rest of the night. And you're like, let's take a picture.
There was another time that we actually never saw each other until the pictures the next day, and it was like, how did I not see you?
Was that before or after Mount Vesuvius blew up?
What?
Didn't you blow up on something yesterday night or something?
No. This was 2 weeks ago. Not this. This was Sunday that I did this. No, this was different. Noma. This was when we were at Noma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we both and of course Tracey got to take pictures, so she gets
Tracey comes right in
and she gets the pictures, and that's it. Hey, listen,
I did it to her one time. She didn't expect it.
I like to document.
Most of my nights, if I didn't have you to take the pictures, I would never know where I was. So I'm glad that you did it.
Right.
You take accountability. That's why anybody dating Tracey knows where she is if she's out.
There's things I don't post either.
I'm only kidding. I know. Obviously, we know that. Although, looking at your Instagram account, we don't know how much you're not posting, but that's okay. We'll let that one go. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thursday night, I will be at Giganti at 7 p.m. Come by, have a drink, come say hello. Food there is amazing. According to Lou Giganti, anything homemade has no carbs, so their gnocchi is carb free.
I'm in.
That's not
Who's
entirely
DJing?
true, but okay.
I'm not sure yet. Yeah, it's not true at all. It's complete bullshit, but I liked it. I'm going with it. So, yes,
good.
Thursday at Giganti, I will be there. I hope you guys come down. It is in Lake Isle in Eastchester, New York. And next Tuesday, I'm doing my pop-up at Salsa con Fuego.
Yay,
with Carl Payne, which I'm really excited about. And then I might be dragging him for next Thursday night so that everybody can meet him. So we'll see what happens with that. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry we kept you on so long. I'm sorry I kept you guys so late.
It's okay. Thanks for having us.
Yes, and thank you for bringing the book. He was so good. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
By John Gray. Got to give him props on that.
Oh yes, give him that. Even though the millennials are having it redone.
They had it redone.
So if you have read it, you have to do it again because it's all different now. Because women created a new what's that called? Planet. Women created a new planet.
That's true.
And so men need to figure out how to get there.
Or get out of there.
Or get out of there. Right, according to you guys, you're running for the hills.
We're running for the hills.
Right.
That's
it. Retreat.
We also are independent.
Run.
We cook, we clean, and we're ready to run.
Run, Forrest, first run. All right. On that note, love you guys. I'm going to sign off.
Bye.
Thank you, Karen.